good afternoon. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on wordradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. If you are hearing the sound of my voice or watching me on in YouTube or Facebook Live, I am Andrea Lawful Sanders, and I am your host with my dress gapping on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Happy Melanin March, y'all. People thought that Black History Month was over. It is not over, honey. We're at Melanin March. Then we'll have Afro April, then Mahogany May, then Justice June. Then, we're just going to keep going for the entire year. Black History Month lasts 365 days for us in these United States of America. And I just wanted to say that, and Happy Women's Month. You have no idea the amount of good things that are coming your way on The Source for the month of April. Lord, I am losing my mind. The month of March got some fabulous guests lined up for you that'll tickle your mind and make you think and give you food for thought. And we'll find some great solutions around the things that are happening locally and nationally. So hold on to that. But today I have a treat for the WURD listeners. From 1 to 3 p.m. today, you can call me sight unseen. Marva has no guests. It is done this way so that you all can call in and talk to me. I feel like over the last 7 days that I've been on the air, I've had guests, back-to-back guests, and I haven't had a chance to really talk to all of you and give you some good time, some good conversation time with me, right? So today, March 1st, 2021, you get your conversation time with Mother. 215-634-8065. You can call in anytime between 1 and 3 p.m. So, what is on my mind for today? Lots, COVID is still on my mind. All sorts of things. I've got a great guest coming up at 3 p.m. that I can't wait, that I cannot wait to share with all of you. Brianna is talking to me. But let me start here. For the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium, they have today, Monday, March 1st, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday, March 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Saturday, March 6th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Leah Cora Center is where they will be this week. 1776 North Broad Street in Philadelphia. That's right around Temple University. On Thursdays, for the second shots only, listen, if you're coming for your second shot, do not show up Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday. If you have already gotten a shot and it's time for you to get the second shot, you can show up on Thursday, March 4th and Friday, March 5th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Christian Stronghold Baptist Church, 4701 Lancaster Avenue in Philadelphia, PA 19131. COVID testing is today, Monday, March 1st that ended, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which was at the SEPTA 69th Street Transportation Center. So hopefully, if you needed to get COVID testing, that you did not miss that. Excuse me for coughing into the no appointment necessary except for the second shot. Must live in the hardest hit zip code. Must be phase 1B eligible. Philadelphia neighborhoods and zip codes with the highest incidence of COVID-19 disease and death during the pandemic: University City, Belmont, Parkside, Powelton Village, 19104, Mount Airy, 19119, Logan and Olney, 19120, Brewerytown, 19121, Northern Liberties, Loft District, 19123, Oak Lane, East Oak Lane, 19126, Winfield, 19131, Strawberry Mansion, 19132, Fair Hill, North Philadelphia, 19133, West Oak Lane, 19138, Walnut Hill, West, 19139, Hunting Park, 19140, Logan, 19141, Southwest Philadelphia, 19142, University City, 19143, Germantown, 19144, Graduate Hospital, Naval Square, Southwest Center City, 19146, Cedarbrook, 19150, Overbrook Farms, Overbrook Park, 19151, Eastwick, 19153, and she says that the zip code list is subject to change. So you can't say that you did not hear it. COVID-19 vaccination clinics open at the Leocora Center this week with the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium on Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, March 1st, 2nd, and 6th. Ooh, they're calling already. I love you all. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Leocora Center, 1776 Broad Street. And if you're getting your second vaccination, second shots only, Thursday and Friday, March 4th and 5th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Christian Stronghold Baptist Church, 4701 Lancaster Avenue in Philadelphia. They had COVID testing this morning at the 69th Street Transportation Center, but that's already over. So I gave you that information, and if you need me to repeat it throughout the week, I will absolutely do that. Someone from FEMA is going to be on one day this week to talk to us to make sure. I just want to make sure. Let me go now. Already, I think you better call Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone.
Oh. Hello, Mother Earth. How are you?
Okay. I'm good, sir. I'm good. I'm drinking a smoothie, and something in here is tickling my throat.
Oh.
Stuff I've had all the time, though, so I'm not quite sure what it is, but it'll work itself out. How are you, honey?
I am wonderful, Mother, and I'm thanking God for everything. Mother, I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at the, it's a 6-part series called Disrupt, Dismantle, and they talked about the school-to-prison pipeline. And it gave a very, very good look at what a lot of folks been saying for some time now, but it really did some real investigation in terms of looking at a school district in Tennessee.
Okay.
And one of the things that they pointed out that 59 grade school children were locked up, and they were showing how they was locking up one little girl, and she couldn't have been no more than no more than maybe 7, 8.
For what, Tyrone?
And how?
For what were they locking her up for?
Because she was being disruptive in school.
But that's what children do. That's what 7-year-old children do.
And right, and that's what the conversation pretty much centered around. That but more, please don't put the handcuffs on me. And you know, they don't do that to white children. They don't do that to white children.
Let me ask you this, Tyrone, because I'm going to ask this again. So let me tell you what I know for certain, for someone who has been in the school systems for as long as I can remember. When educators know that someone, doesn't have to be a mother or a father, that someone will show up for that child, they're less likely to treat that child in a horrible manner. So even if it's a child that does not belong to you, that is not someone that you're related to, and you see, because the teachers who are doing the right things, Tyrone, will drop a dime in your ear. They'll call. I've had teachers call me and say, listen, you didn't hear this from me, but such and such and such is doing some horrible things to children, and this is where I need you to turn and look. And so we were able to progressively target the people, the teachers, the educators who are not doing right by students. As a direct result, at least 1 or 2 of them was forced to retire in our children's schools because we stood up, rank and file, and was like, no, we can't have this. And the one particular teacher was really targeting boys, black boys, white boys. It was almost as if she didn't like them, right? So for children like our babies around the country, Tennessee and anywhere else, Tyrone, tell the families, pick up the phone, call. You all show up. If you have someone living in your community that you know is having a hard time with the school, show up, call. Pick up the phone and call me. I will talk about it on the air and start to highlight the atrocities that are happening, because the only way it will stop is if we bring light to it. You hear what I'm saying to you, Tyrone?
And Mother, and I think that's what the conversation was about, and the reason why I wanted to call, because I see so much creative energy and folks who are really doing things to make a difference. I'm talking about young folks on your program. And I do hear that they are, adults in their lives. And so the idea is that we cannot allow our children to go to school without any perennial support, community support, or whatever. If they keep talking about this prison, the pipeline, and how real it is, but here, almost every day on your program, that I hear how young folks are doing great things, magnificent things, and why can't, that be the norm as opposed to, the prison?
Because that doesn't sell. And that's why, Tyrone, as they feed the prison to pipeline stuff via documentaries and whatever else, I will continue to feed what is good and right about our children. I've got some phenomenal ones coming up this month. You know what I'm saying?
Can I end with this?
Yes.
I did get an opportunity to apologize to Maurice. I heard him say that I kind of misrepresented him, and one thing I do not want to do is misrepresent anyone, because I know how painful that can be, because I have been, I have felt it myself, but I did humbly apologize, and definitely do not want to take anybody's, whatever they speak on, take it out of context.
And this is why I love you so much. You're welcome. This is why I love you so much. This is you're teaching the lesson, right? We're never too large to apologize when we are wrong or if someone misinterprets the things that we say. This is how we get going and pull ourselves together as a collective. So I appreciate that. Love you, man. Talk to you soon, okay? All right, bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you. Miss Lynn, how are you?
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Andrea.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. That's Indica. She's on her way to work. I'm so proud of her. She's at Temple. She's doing well. Now she's going to her part-time job. First day I ain't have to drive her. Okay.
Oh, well, tell her I said hello.
I'm going to be there soon. She's going to be there soon, she said. Okay, bye.
Okay. Well, what's going on, my darling?
Happy Women's Month. I want to wish you, Andrea Sanders, Miss Sarah Lomax, Pat Jackson, Kayla, Sarita. Did I forget anybody?
Oh my gosh. Kawesa, yes, Kawesa. I'm looking at her face. Tiffany Bacon. Yeah, and then the women who are doing the sales and stuff, Lisa and Cedra, and listen, WURD is filled with phenomenal women who are behind the scenes and in front. Yeah, we don't play.
What's the girl that came in on at 6 o'clock in the morning? What's her name?
Helena.
Yes,
Helena.
Yes.
And Envy McKee. Oh my gosh. And
she did that Black History singing up. She got to keep that up because she was so sassy with it, and you want to learn about the people she's talking about. Oh, she was just dynamite. And Miss Vicky.
And Miss Vicky Leach. Yes. Thank you so much, Lynn. Because one of the things I was going to ask people is to call in and tell me who their favorite women are for Women's Month and why. Men and women, anybody can call in. Tell me who your favorite people are for Women's Month. I know we can talk about the muckety mucks and we can talk about the people at the larger level, but do that too. But I also want you to tell me about the people locally in your neighborhoods, the women that are holding it down, you know?
Okay. And Mother, I also wanted to thank Channel 6 for the tribute to Cody Anderson and James Brown, Sarah Lomax, Patty Jackson, and Jerry Wells. It was a great tribute. It was so nice. And I really want to give my kudos to Channel 6 for their FYI on featuring Black businesses. And guess what, Mother?
What, honey?
They had your brother and sister designer team on. It starts with a D apostrophe I. They make beautiful African print design.
Oh, Dianu, honey. Yes.
Boy. Look, I live in Darby, but I'm going up there.
Listen, honey.
All that
Can Mother share something with you? Can Mother share something with you, Lynn?
Sure,
So last summer, in the middle of COVID, I done dropped about 40 pounds. Nothing is fitted. Clothes just falling off of me. Deanu, a friend of mine, reached out to me and said Deanu was having a sale. So I go with my friend Denise. We wipe down everything. I show up to their spot, and they were like, "Oh, we're not open to the public, but we'll let you in." And they let us in. And oh my gosh, I got the most fabulous $20, $10. It was a sidewalk sale they were getting ready to have that weekend, and I wasn't going to be in town to go. And so their stuff is good. And in fact, Lynn, I talked to the brother. I wanted to interview the brother and the sister, but they were so busy. I'm going to reach back out to them again and get them on the air so I can talk to them. They were wonderful. And Deanu means
guess
something.
What, Mother? You told me that story. I just wanted the listeners to hear it again. And that's how we got to get the word out. And I just want to encourage our listeners, especially.
Lynn, you got really low all of a sudden.
Huh?
You got low. I can hardly hear you now.
Oh, I got low.
Yes.
Is that better? Is that better?
No. Michael, is there something going on your end? Because she got really low. I can hardly hear her now.
Oh, you can't? What? Can you hear my big mouth?
I can hear your big mouth, but very,
okay.
but very softly. So it's like you're fading out.
Okay, I only have one more statement. I want all our listeners to support Black businesses, especially this month. You know we have money at the first of the month and the middle of the month. So please, y'all, get out there and put our words into action. Because, Mother, we got to start somewhere.
I got something for you, Lynn. I got something for you. I wait until I got something coming for you at 3 o'clock. Just stay tuned, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And
Mama got something for you at 3 o'clock.
One more thing. I want to give a shout out to Premium Nutrition. They surprised me with my birthday meals. Free on Sunday. They were so delicious. Indigo is so greedy. She have been eating half of them. But they are so
Their food is very good. Their food is very good. I have tried it.
And I found out about them on your program, and I just want to thank you so much, Mother. I am just learning so much on your shows, and you're motivating me. I don't know, but I may be running for something, Mother.
You better come on with it, Lynn. You better come on with it. That's what I'm talking about. Let Mother know, okay?
Okay, I sure will. You have a blessed day, and I'm going to have you on all day, so I won't miss it at 3 o'clock. I'll have
3 o'clock, honey. Don't even blink. Just don't blink. Mother will got something good for you 3 o'clock. All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. All right. Before I take my short break, I just want to also hail up Dee Patel, who is our new programming manager. She has been phenomenal. Now, Dee is in the background, making sure that we have the kinds of guests that we want. We get to talk to her. She works with us through all of this to to continue elevating the programming for WURD radio station. And I got to tell you, on my own personal behalf, that Dee has been really good for me. I can call her and say, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? And she goes, go for it. This is great stuff. And she, she continues to motivate and encourage me. And so I listen to everything that she has to say. But before she got to WURD radio, when I heard that she was coming, my media friends all reached out to me and said, she's really good. And what she does, she will guide you, and you will become even better than where you were if you listen to her. So shout out to Dee. She doesn't even know I'm calling her. I'm talking about her because she doesn't get to listen to this stuff during the day. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
Attention WURD audience, do you know that you can get help with your PICO energy bill? PICO is here to help you with financial help through various assistance programs, including the PICO CAP program, which provides a monthly credit for eligible low-income customers based on the customer's total household gross income and energy usage. If you are experiencing financial hardship, you may qualify for the PICO CAP program.
And PICO Cares is the customer assistance and referral evaluation service designed to assist special needs, low-income customers who have a temporary personal or financial hardship that prevents the payment of your PICO energy bill. If you have a special needs child or adult in your care, your household may qualify for the CARES program.
Call 1-800-774-7040 today to see if you qualify due to an existing situation or a change in circumstances within your household. Call 1-800-774-7040 today for more information on the PICO CAP or PICO CARES program. PICO, powering our communities.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet. Hold on. Whew. But you know, it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Her's Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Her's.
Want the latest in Word swag? Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk media.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. Muffle is over here sending text messages, honey, working on her lineup for the month. I am so excited. I have to tell you all the time, these guests are coming not because I'm special in any way, shape, or form, but I have had some really great, authentic relationships over the years that are paying off. So let's go. Y'all are not ready. All right, Maurice, good afternoon, darling. How are you? Maurice?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's up, dear?
I'd like to say to my man Tyrone, he don't have to apologize to me. Maybe I need to explain myself better, okay?
Okay.
Because that's my main man there, and I don't want him to think that I was offended. Maybe I didn't explain myself good enough. Okay. Maybe he did make a mistake. Maybe I did, because he's a good brother.
I love you all.
There's nothing but love for the callers here. I say I don't mind if somebody disagrees with me. That just means that maybe I got to do a better job or explain, or maybe I need to look into it a little more thoroughly. Maybe I'm wrong, you know? So, you know, everybody's opinion is everybody's opinion, you know?
That's right.
But the thing I want to know is, you know, with the phenomenal work that you've been doing by you having those two guests on last week who no host has been able to do but you. So don't sell yourself short at all, because right now, this show is the premier show right now.
Yeah.
You know, when you can get the commissioner and you get Curtis Jones in 1 week, you did something that people couldn't do in months that been here. And I just want to, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but you must got the power, mother, to bring them in. Now I want you to go for the trifecta. And the trifecta is Cheryl Parker. Now you get her in here and explain why she's on the board of the Delaware Port Authority. You really top notch there. You need to get a radio.
Don't bait me, Maurice. Listen,
because I can't explain that one.
Listen, did you hear me talking to Council Member Curtis Jones? I didn't get a straight answer.
You won't. You won't, because Curtis is from the old school politician.
Yeah, but it doesn't help the people in the city to dance around the answers, Maurice.
Yeah, but see, he's in charge of so much that people don't understand. He is the safety officer. He is right there about the safety of the city. And when you have over 5 murders and over 76 or more going into this year, you got to answer to somebody, because you got the best camera system in the world here in Philadelphia. You see how they tracked down the guy from the Macy's rape. They followed him like they had a locator on, like he had a LoJack in his butt. They found him. Now they could be doing that all over the city, but it wasn't because it was a black woman that was attacked or any colored woman that was attacked. They did that because Macy's said, "Hey, look, we can't have this stain on our store, so you have to catch this guy right away," and they went to work. But
so what stops them from going to work for the rest of the city with all these cameras everywhere? What stops them from going to work?
Gentrification, what I've been trying to tell people that maybe Tyrone didn't understand what I was saying about gentrification. To have gentrification work, you must have crime. And the reason you have the crime is to put the long-term homeowners to make them move. So they don't have to use eminent domain, so they can get up out that neighborhood so the new people can come in. Changing neighborhoods, there only been 2-story neighborhoods to 3- and 4-story neighborhoods, which messes with the infrastructure of the city because the city's pipelines are old and not used to having all that pressure.
Right. You know what's so funny, Maurice? I want to tell you that it's all horse pucky, but you're telling the truth. I have had conversations with people who have lived down by the art museum, the Latinos. They were all down there, and they made it so that it was untenable, wasn't fixing their apartments, that the crime raised, and then they got them all pushed them into Kensington, and now they have these $1 million apartments, and the folks that are living over by the art museum now don't even barely want us out there past a certain hour. Can't have certain things, can't do. And I'm just like, at what point in this city do we stop and look and say, black folks live here too? Right? It's Melanin March, y'all. It's Melanin March. We live here too. So at what point do you make it accessible for us the same way you would make it accessible for anybody else? And when do we stop this foolishness?
Well, it started with Unity Day. When they took Unity Day from, that was our black holiday.
I remember that.
They took that off the Parkway, but see, people don't understand. The event down there on South Street is next. Udunde. That's next on the list because you got $1 million houses down there in the area, and you got a lot of blacks coming for Unity Day. They can't have that, so that's next. So people got to understand it's our city council that's doing it to us. There's no middleman. If we have a problem at McDonald's, you don't holler and go holler at the fry boy. You want to see the manager, right?
Right.
The manager is city council. And the deal with city council is they look just like us, so we keep giving them a pass. If they were all white, we wouldn't be doing that. We'd be out there screaming. Matter of fact, we'd be out there right now doing an interaction on City Hall. But because they're black and they look like us, well
so that's not, it's not an excuse. It really isn't.
Of course not. But I want to say this last thing now. It was an event where, remember that carjacking, right?
Which one?
Remember when they stopped the guy, he got out the car, he put his hands up.
When did this happen?
They tackled him and had him on the ground. One cop pulls up, runs over, and starts kicking the man when he's already restrained.
When did this happen?
Nobody talked about that.
When did this happen, Maurice?
Last week, when a woman was carjacked. Got a carjacked, and he let the woman out with the kid, and then he carjacked another car. They caught him. Now, what he did was wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not for no criminals, but what I'm saying is once they had him restrained, they had 4 cops on him on the ground. He didn't resist. He put his hands up. Another cop pulls up, runs over, and just starts kicking him while he's down. See, if we want crime to be right, it got to be on both sides. It got to be on the police side, and it's got to be on how we want criminals taken care of. It can't be, look, we got this guy, and look, we're not going to say nothing, or McNesby and the boys are not going to talk about what their cops did, like they never said anything about the interaction.
Speaking of McNesby, somebody find me an email to reach him, please. If you know McNesby, because we've been trying to reach him, and he just seems pretty elusive. I'd like to talk to him too.
Talk to George.
Okay, we'll do. All right, my brother. All right, love you.
Love you too, and tell my boy Tyrone I love him.
All right, I will. That's real man talk right there. Talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye. Friendly Fred, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Mother, how you doing, Sapner? I just want to say wisdom, beauty, and grace, truth, knowledge, love, and understanding, and righteousness. And a strong woman cook up them home-cooked meals, and a woman's worth, and they treat you like you're nothing when you're worth more than gold, and a man's worth. And I think about the good times, the things we used to do, and the places we used to go when everything was so mellow, and it was so nice, and true love we shared, and love is the greatest story. And when we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Friendly Fred. Thank you for calling in every day and giving Mother some encouragement, okay? That was good. Prince, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am hanging and banging, honey. Happy Women's Month. Any woman that you know that you would like to highlight locally?
Absolutely, there's a bunch of them. So if I do one, since now they all listen to your show, my sisters and them might get upset. So let's just
to all the women that Prince loved, he's highlighting you for more Women's Month. All of you. I don't know your names, but all of you.
Right. So Andrea, if you got that McNesney piece, you're gonna have to probably consult with George, because George can reach him.
Okay.
And when you look at what we've had happen in the past 3 weeks, and you follow the dollars, nobody's following the money. But if you follow the money, remember a few years ago, 5 years ago, Temple got $1 billion grant from a philanthropist, right? And so that $1 billion is part of the money that they're going to use to revitalize from Temple all the way up to Fitton Avenue, all the way up Broad Street. And so the current 9th District City Council person is going to make a whole lot of hoopla about running for mayor, but the deal's already been cut so she can try to be the head of City Council. She want to be the president of City Council. She don't want to be mayor. She's not going to give up a job and not have another job. So
you're talking about Sherelle Parker.
I am.
Okay.
And so what I like to ask you is this right here. When you because we're rewarding bad habits, and so you can't expect the city to turn around and these young people to stop committing crimes, which is a bad habit, if your politicians are committing crimes and getting away with bad habits. Now, you ain't got to take it from me, because the Freedom of Information Act is for everybody, not just me. So Sherelle Parker has spent 3 days in jail. She's a convicted criminal, not a convicted felon, because the charges was reduced to misdemeanor. But she spent 3 days in jail. And here's the politics about that. And she had to pay a $1,000 fine. And her license was supposed to have been suspended for 1 year. She never got transferred upstate. Within 24 hours of incarceration, you cannot sit in a holding cell for 3 days. You're supposed to get transferred upstate. She did not get transferred upstate. You can't find no record of her upstate, but you can go online and found that she did spend 3 days in prison, so they kept her in the box locally, which is wrong, which is political preference for political power, and that's wrong. If the politicians keep doing stuff that's wrong, you can't expect a criminal to change his ways. She got arrested for drunk driving. She is now on the board of the Delaware River Port Authority. And so we keep saying this, and this is why Marisa said, well, why don't we get her on your show so she can defend this right here? Because what's going to happen is if they choose not to get her off that board, because ethically it's wrong, morally it's wrong, then we got enough financial money. We're going to, obviously, we can get attorneys.
Right.
We're going to file a lawsuit for her to get off that board. Why?
Oh,
because the Delaware River Port Authority is a nonprofit, and that's taxpayer dollars. And you have to be vetted in order to sit on that board. But if you choose to stay on that board because you ethically don't want to recuse yourself and come off that board, then we got to put our money where our mouths is. We can't just get on here and say, well, no, it's going to cost $15,000. We're going to put that up, because then you got to go to court and put it on record why your record is so bad, and then we got to expose whoever else authorized you to be on that board.
Right.
Because you can't keep treating us like this. Is foul to treat us this way, and we can't expect it. I'm sorry, did I do that? And that could be just my soapbox, but I know it's an important soapbox, and I agree with Marie. I'm asking if there any way possible that you can get us the officer's name and who he is, who decided to run up there and just start kicking the suspect that was apprehended. What was the reason? Because if you start kicking him and he's already on the ground, there's no telling what you're already doing out here to other folks.
Did anybody reach out to? I need to reach out to. I'll reach out to the police department and find out. I know they're not going to give me the police officer's name sight unseen, but at least they can let us know what's going on.
Let me tell you how you do it. So the camera from the helicopter had captured this whole ordeal, right? So all you got to do is freeze the picture and enlarge it. So even if they don't want to give it to you, we can get it.
Okay.
You know,
Do you have a copy? Do you have a copy of that clip? Is there a link that I can go look at?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It was posted.
Okay.
Somehow they were so happy to apprehend this person that they posted it. And I got two more things, and I'll hang up and I'll listen to other folks. The other thing is, after we got off your show with Curtis Jones, the 6 o'clock news posted the people who were doing the shooting at Board House.
Huh.
You realize that? Now, here's the fundamental problem with that. That means they could have posted that a week ago before you got Curtis Jones, which would have had people looking for these people who decided to shoot while people, grandmoms and moms and people was out there. When he got off your show, the 6 o'clock news, they had shown 3 still shots, a person in the car, a person running away from the scene, and another person. And so none of that happened before he came to your show. And my last request.
So you know what? Can I say this to you, Prince? Because that is happening quite a bit. I don't know who was listening to this show, but folks that would not be able to get on the air at any other time, they come on this show and within hours they're on the regular 6, 10, 3. So I'm very happy that we're opening up the place for people to get their voices heard, because we've been saying this forever and a day. Black folks deserve to be heard and to be shown as human. And we have too many people in newsrooms, editors and reporters who don't want to go into the communities and share these stories, except when we carry it here. So if that's how you're going to carry the stories, keep listening and understand that when you come from a place of empathy, you'll get more from people instead of just looking at them as just another story, right? And please, y'all, when you're reporting, make sure you do your due diligence and not treat them like criminals before you even talk to them. Even the questions that you ask sounds condescending, right? So don't make assumptions that because certain things happen in certain communities that these people don't care about their families and they don't care about what happens to them, or they didn't go to school. See, you done started me up.
One thing we tell people is that you might be mad at that person and you might kill that person, but somehow every time you go to that person's funeral, there's 6 other people who love and know that person carrying that person. So
wait a minute, Prince. Somebody just sent me a message saying, can you ask Prince why he doesn't complain about Ryan Boyer instead of fussing about Sherelle Parker all the time?
You the one had Ryan Boyer on your show.
I know, and I remember you calling and fussing at him.
People called up and talked about Ryan Boyer. I'm not complaining about Sherelle Parker to the extent that I'm complaining about the politics that go behind putting unqualified people in places to protect them. Ryan Boyer was not as qualified to sit on that board, no more than Sherelle is qualified to sit on that board. None of them have a background in engineering. None of them have a background in transportation. None of them have a background in strategic planning, bridge management, accounting, finances. Everybody else pretty much sit on that board is either an attorney or hold a certification in those areas. So it's not just about Sherelle. The problem is that we got these political fans out here, and it's one of the reasons why we're not getting the results for the people as a community. You got to get the results for everybody, not just certain people. This Sherelle Parker train does not run the bus, does not run the train by herself. It's a collective. And my last question is it possible that you guys had a Sarah talking to the host just a couple weeks ago? Can it may not have your program person, if not Sarah, can your listeners on your show have a chance to speak with them, because we only call this show because we're a little perturbed and disturbed about how the station is moving forward in order to help us as a community. We got some people that don't take no calls. We got some people who leave people on hold for an hour and a half deliberately. And so it's not a programming piece when you disrespecting the very people who have made this station for a long time. What we're asking is that we have that conversation, because some of your hosts act like prima donnas, and that's not fair for some of your listeners, because my grandmom and my great-grandmom used to listen to that preaching early in the morning. There was this
Hold on 1 second, Prince. Hold on. Let me get a quick break because I want to follow up with this with you. Hold on 1 second, okay? You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Your child deserves to be educated in a safe and supportive learning environment. Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School, a tuition-free public school, is accepting applications for the 2021-2022 school year. SLAC's 2 locations offer single-gender classrooms in a dual-gender environment. Kindergarten and first-grade classrooms have a 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Students learn music, art, and fitness. Southwest Leadership educates the whole child, preparing students to become leaders. slacks-phila.org, Instagram at Southwest Leadership Academy, or email info@slacks-phila.org. You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. Before I run back to Prince, let me just, the School District of Philadelphia is expected to provide an update Monday, today, on their plans to return to limited in-person learning. Lord. Let me just make sure that okay. While also discussing progress on mediation with the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers, the news comes after a third-party mediator reviewed the district's health and safety protocols after previous attempts to return to limited in-person instruction were postponed. Mayor Jim Kenney announced on Monday that the mediator was able to develop a reopening process that both the district and the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers were able to agree upon. Instead of waiting for all schools to meet reopening guidelines, the district and PFT have agreed to review the schools in batches. Mayor Kenney says the batch approach came as an effort to start bringing students back for in-person instruction sooner rather than waiting for all the schools to be individually reviewed and approved. Lord, merciful Father. Okay, all right, back to you, Prince. So let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, just so I'm clear. You want me to ask the CEO of WURD what is the protocol for the hosts about how they respond to and react to guests, to callers?
No, I don't want you. we don't want to put that kind of burden on you.
Oh, okay.
Because see, you know when Georgie Woods passed away, folks called because they was intimately tied into Georgie Woods, and passing of the torch to Mrs. Lomax, no one really knows her. People know her, but no one knows her. And so we want to give her flowers while she's still here, while she's listening, while she's doing what she's doing, because we appreciate the station, but we also want to let her know that it could be better, and certain hosts don't have the intimacy with us as others do. And that's a mistake. You know, and we think that we have a right to offer that opinion, because if it's about dollars and program dollars and developing dollars and raising dollars, then give us a chance. If we stand a better opportunity to raise just as much money as somebody who pays for the time on this airwaves, if it's not conducive to the constituents and the residency of Philadelphia. You know, if you say a show costs $10,000, then say, hey, put it out for bid. Let us bid for that time slot. Matter of fact, if you check my pedigree, there's been plenty of times where I've had this Bill Anderson, I paid for 6 months in advance to have them at my barbershop 6 o'clock in the morning to do a mobile broadcast. So if you just check my history, you know what I mean, I paid for them to come out and set up and do all that they do all that they do. So what I'm saying is, give us an opportunity, because the morning show talks about stuff that's relevant only to them. It has nothing to do with us as a community, especially when there's people dying in the streets to the tune of hundreds and people getting shot to the tune of thousands, you know. And I think the morning sets the tone. And you answer callers, Solomon answer callers, but everybody else seems to have a different agenda. And we're not going to say that to bash anybody. We're going to say that because corrective information corrects. Badgering don't do nothing but make people resent and then you get into. So I'm not doing that. I'm only asking if we could speak too, because your first hour you give it to us, and we talk about stuff that's happening in our city when other folks are asleep.
Yes.
And that's my soapbox. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna listen to other people. Thank you for even giving me this time, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, my brother, take it easy. Michael, I know you're listening. So Michael is my producer for the show every day. And Michael and I came to an arrangement. I said to him, no matter what is going on, unless we absolutely cannot, please answer the phone and put the callers on. I don't want you to. This is the show that you and I run together. This is the format that we have, and we want to make sure that the people who are spending their money for WURD membership get an opportunity to call in here and talk. Sometimes when you call, I can't talk to you for long, but we always take your call. And if we can't talk to you, then you can always call the next day. But we don't ever want to make anybody feel like this is not a space for them. And so when Michael and I talked the other day, I said to him, I don't care what anybody else is doing. This is what you do. We are going to answer the call for the people that are calling in here to make sure that their voices are heard. Because when it comes down to brass tacks, these folks that are putting in their $90 a year and getting their word gear and spreading WURD, they're the ones that are most important. Really, truly, I get it, right? Because without them listening, there is no station. Let me say it again. Without them listening, there is no station. You can have all the money in the world, but if the people who are calling in and listening decide that they don't want to listen anymore, we don't have a station. So on behalf of WURD Radio, for us here at The Source, I just want to say, look, we're here. I can't speak for anybody else. Y'all call and send an email and figure out how you can get something go across the board for everybody else. And sometimes they cannot answer the calls. I get it. On this show, we make sure that you get as much of a chance as you need. Philip, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing, Andrea?
I'm good. What's going on? What can I do for you?
Okay. Yes, I was calling in. Yes, because I wanted to name my favorite women, black women that inspire me.
Yes.
Locally and nationally.
Okay, go ahead.
Locally, Tamala Edwards on Channel 6 Action News. And nationally, the former great First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Okay.
Those two really.
And who in your immediate family would you hail up for Women's History Month?
In my intermediate family.
In your immediate family, your cousins, your mamas, your aunts, who in your family? What woman in your family or women in your family would you say you would want to talk about for Women's History Month?
Okay. Well, even though she's not alive no more, but she's always alive in spirit. My late grandmother, Mrs. Lottie Mae Towns.
There you go. Because without your great grandmother, however she helped you, you remembered, right? And so we really want to make women feel like they are heard and appreciated, especially in this month. Okay.
Yes.
All right, sir. It's always good to talk to you.
All right. Good to talk to you too. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Brother Spread Love. Brother Spread Love, are you there?
God blessed John's love, manners, and respect. Empress Mama Andrea, praise that all the way there.
How you doing?
Give John the glory, Mama. How the eyes stay, Mama?
The eyes all right, the eyes all right. So far, so good.
So we live,
What y'all say?
Love, bona fide love.
Yes,
Jah
sir.
love, and Jah Son, Jah Christ. Praises in pure majesty, Emperor King. Ali Selassie, Jah. Rastafari. Empress Minute. Said you're alive a lot. Mama, let me tell you first let's give love to our brother Mike on the boards.
Yes. How are you?
Always doing an amazing job. The whole WURD family. That's what this is, family. Can't cut it no other way.
Yes.
Real rap. Everybody call in, gripe and get mad, make up, kiss, all that.
That is so true.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's
yes.
and I pray we always remember that we are family. One blood. Seeing?
Yes. All right, sir. Take it easy, all right?
Wait, Mama.
Yeah, what?
Give thanks. Now, listen, we got to always remember those in suffration, especially those incarcerated and incarcerated falsely. Our hearts are with them. Everyone working to make it better.
Yes.
And Mama, Brother Mike just told me that I was not aware. Bears and Buju did a concert yesterday.
Yes, I heard. I heard. He sent me the link.
Me said, bueno. Now listen, we're not going to talk about it because we're going to enjoy being surprised with it.
Yes.
But Mama, I asked him for a request, and I'm going to make it public. I played one song, the one Bears and Buju, when I'm saying, can I see magic? Can I see up and downtown like it used to be?
Yes.
I remember when I used to rejoice. You see what I said? Because listen now, of one thing, the only thing, Mama, that we all really want is to enjoy each other's company again like we used to. See?
All right. All right.
Love,
all right.
Mama.
Good love. See you soon, okay? All right. So, Michael, I'm just putting this up. I want you to play something Buju for our break, going into our break. I don't have time to play music coming up because I've got so many people that I want to talk to. I have George and I have Maurice from North Philly, who I have not heard from in a long time. I cannot wait to talk to him. Go to Hills and Valleys for me, for Buju, going into our break, all right? I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will be back. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. If you are hearing the sound of my voice, I am Andrea Lawful Sanders, and we will be right back after these messages.
Whoa, whoa, la, hey, whoa, whoa, la. Only Rasta can liberate the people over hills and valleys too. Don't let them fool you. Don't believe for a minute that they are with you. Jah free the people over hills and valleys too. Don't let them fool you. Don't believe for a minute they don't like you. Why try to make I unhappy? Really, I don't know. If it was up to them, my friend, we would never see the sun or the snow. Through that mystical communication within, we keep on coming together. I love to see brothers and sisters looking out for one another. That's the way it should be, not contrary. Stop tearing down each other. Only Rasta free the people over hills and valleys too.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The WURD Radio Newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting WURDradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our President and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio Newsletter.
James Schuler Memorial Boxing Gym presents Around the Way Rumbling, an amateur boxing event Saturday, March 6th. The first bout is at 2 p.m. at James Schuler Memorial Gym, located at 750 North Brooklyn Street, off of 42nd and Lancaster Avenue. Boxing saves lives, and this is the perfect time to join the gym. Monthly memberships and boxing lessons are available for ages 7 through 70. For sponsorship information, call Crystal at 717-421-0512.
Celebrating Black history all day, every day. Edgar Evers.
All we want you to do is keep going with this fight for freedom. When we get this unity, ladies and gentlemen, nothing can stop us.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Philadelphia, independent black media.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Back to The Source, someone who I have not heard from in a while, and I kept asking about him. Maurice, how are you?
Hey, Sister Andrea, how's everything with you?
I'm so good. Where have you been, man?
I've been going through it. You know, I lost my mom back in September.
Oh.
It was my mom that introduced me to WURD, you know, back in 2010.
Yeah.
I knew Mary Mason wasn't on the radio no longer. And my mom knew I was doing a community activist with the kids and youth and sports. And she called me and said, are you a member of WURD? I said, no, what's that? A radio station? No. You got to get a membership. And that's how I got started tuning into WURD.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the points I wanted to make is I wanted to make a few of them. I wanted real quick with the three women.
Yes.
My grandmother was inspiration, my mother, and one of our mentors, a basketball player, Charlene Abner. And I look back on my grandmother when she used to tell us when we was kids we wanted to go outside and play. My grandma used to cook for a lot of people for a living. And one day she made me and my cousins come inside. It was hot. I was like, we don't want to come inside, so you got to come in. You got to start rolling the dough. And we said, why we have to roll dough? She said, because one day you would have to know how to cook for yourself.
Yes.
If you learn now, you don't have to worry about nobody waiting on somebody to cook for you.
Yes.
That sticks with me today.
Yeah.
My mother was strong on education, but it was my mother that took me to Dr. Leon Sullivan in 1978. That's how I met Dr. Leon Sullivan. And she entered me into his programs. This time I am stuck on economics through Dr. Leon Sullivan's teaching. And his blueprint of what he taught the Southern Christian leadership and Dr. Martin Luther King and them in the mid-50s and up. And a lot of people is using Dr. Leon Sullivan for individuality, but no one using it as a community builder. And if we use Dr. Leon Sullivan's program as a community builder, then Donald Trump is not really a great competitor of ours. He's only a great competitor of ours because we don't do what we need to do as a person. And that's what I was trying to explain to one of your hosts who he gets beside himself. And then when I let him know when I call from a world of experience. That's because I've been taught and I've been through the process.
Right.
And I asked the question was, and I asked everyone this question, where are the power structure of America?
Yeah.
Our military bases is in the South. Our HBCU schools are in the South. Our powerful PWI college institutions are in the South. That's where the money is controlling America. That's why Southern strategy is built around them institutions. And we, as a group of black people, understand how we have to move collectively as an incubator. We take away their power without protesting or demonstrating. And I just want to say one last thing, Sister Andrea. Keep our eye on Coach Deion Sanders as JSU, the HBCU school in Jackson, Mississippi. In 5 years, is what he's doing will lay the blueprint for all HBCU schools. And he's not doing it just with sports. Sports is the vehicle.
Right.
He is building a true community benefit agreement in that state of Jackson, Mississippi, which is the poorest black city in America and the poorest black state in America, Mississippi. So if he can do it there, and he's doing it the right way from what I'm reading, I'm understanding, I'm going to make a trip there, I want to buy a paraphernalia to support the HBCU schools, he's laying the blueprint that's going to be effective 5 and 10 years down the line that the black America could take a picture from. Certain vehicles we have to use to drive through our community to rebuild our community. We just can't become like South Africa. We get all the political power, but yet we can't feed ourselves. We have no gardens. We don't do job creation. So now we want to become political strong, but become weaker and get poorer. And as you know, as this pandemic, it was already a wealth gap in America. It's even a wider wealth gap that the pandemic is going on. So we're still going to be in a comfortable position because we haven't taken the necessary steps to understand what is holding us down like an anchor and why we can't come up. And I just hope they bring better artists like you do. You bring people on your show to talk about significant things. You bring the students, and we hear directly from the students, so that makes a difference. If we don't know, bring people on it that do know.
Yes.
So when they talk about certain situations, I asked a couple of the hosts to bring on Michelle Alexander. She can talk about a lot because she was an attorney that wrote about what? The mass incarceration bill.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And how it continues to work.
So, Maurice, I reached out to Isabel Wilkerson, working on that to get her on here. She wrote the book, Warmth of Other Suns and The Cast.
That's right,
the new book. Yes. And so you're right. You're absolutely right. I am intentional about the people that come on this show. You know, we can laugh and kiki all day long, but you're right, sir. Last week, Latasha Brown from Black Voters Matter and Susan L. Taylor were both being interviewed on my show. And one of the things that they talked about was what you're exactly saying. There is no infrastructure, especially at the federal level, to talk about our issues, right? And to get people to listen, because we're doing this one-off thing, you know, individual issues instead of coming to a collective Black issue. And so you are absolutely right. I miss talking to you. Thank you so much for calling in. And I'm sorry to hear about your mother passing, but you know what? The best thing you can do, sir, is to continue to use your mind to elevate all the things that you were taught to help those of us who are out here. All right?
Yes, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. Take it easy. All right, George. Let me pull up my green juice. George, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I hear you the one that's going to get me to talk to McNesby, because I've tried. Brianna has tried. We can't seem to find him anywhere. Like an email where I can reach to him to say, I'd like to talk to you. Please and thank you.
I'll talk to the mayor and see can he ask him to do it. Okay. You know, I'll ask some people, can they get him to do it? You know, I don't know. You know, he listens. I mean, he hear it. I mean, it ain't like what he ducking you for, I don't know, but he sure enough listens to your show. You know, just like a whole lot of officials listen to your show. They make sure they listen. You want to know about why you get a response of things after it's said on your show? 3, 6, 10, and 29, right? They learned from the Biden campaign. On all apps, they had people who listen to Black Talk Radio across the country. They want to know what's going on in the particular community, what particular area, what is going on. Nobody's interested in what's going on around the country or the world, because if that was so, they would look at cable TV or listen to, you know, whatever it is. That's the mistake that a lot of, you know, people make. You can even ask some of your salespeople. The first thing people when they go to them to try to buy time, they say, how many callers do you get?
Right.
You know, I mean, what is geographic? You know, because they don't have a Nielsen ratings there. They say, well, you know, at such and such time we might get 5 callers. Then another time they say, well, they get 35 calls, 40 calls. Where are you going to put your money? You're going to put your money where they only get 5 calls, or you're going to put your money where they get 35 calls? You know, that's basically what. And I've never been in favor of people who come on to promote themselves, or bring people on who promote themselves and don't spend money at URD. With me, bottom line is, how much money are you spending? How much money can you bring to the station? Because without finance, the station cannot keep surviving. It's not like Sarah's going to keep digging in her pocket to dig it out. It don't work that way. You know, it has to take care of itself. Let me say this here also. The thing where, though, Maurice and all of them was talking about, when Channel 3 put the cameras down on the officer that was kicking and beating the guy, and then they picked the guy up like he was trash. You know, like he had handcuffs on. They just picked him up with his legs and everything and drugged him. He couldn't walk. Also, the police commissioner avoided that at all costs of never answering the question of what happened to the man. They just made like he was running, he was this, he was that. Whatever the problem was, it's not their job. It's the detective's job to write it up for the DA's office to prosecute. Question is, and I always ask this question, and you said almost a week ago you would ask and find out, why is it that highways do not have to wear body cams? All the other ones have to wear it. Why everybody else wears it? Highways do not wear body cams.
All right, so I'll be able to ask that question tomorrow, George. I'll be able to ask that question tomorrow.
Okay, none of the ones that was there, highway, had body cams on.
Okay.
I mean, you know, so, you know, it's not like the commissioner don't know it. You know, why? We don't know. You know, now they might do it. Now she's listening, so therefore she's going to jump on it. People listen to your show, and it's an automatic response to what is said on this show. Period. They can say what they want about me dogging people out. Anybody I dog out, they deserve to be dogged out because you are warned and talked to before I even go in this air and talk to you. Look, you got a certain amount of time to straighten your act up, or you're going to be exposed. Let me say this here, and you'll understand what I'm saying real quick. Go to Broad and Alney that was up there this week when Kenny was up there and all his men. Some people just misunderstand and believe what they want to believe. When I say deaf hustlers, if you're not a deaf hustler, then why would you concern yourself with it? If you're not one of these people who's pimping the community, why would you concern yourself about it? I always say this here. Kenny told all his fools and his middlings and the owner, they're the ones he owned, and do what you're told, keep your mouth shut, show up. All his people showed up, and it was only 4 people there that wasn't his people, and asked themselves, well, why am I here? If you ever listen to Jay McCullen and the thing where Trump is saying, oh, I got summons to here and this and that, and I ended up in the Trump plant, that was the same thing at Broad and Alney. They came out, Sharice Street said it, with all these cameras up here, why are we even here? This here is a place where people get hacks and stickers.
I asked the same question last week, George. Remember? I was like, sir, from my camera system, from my little house, I can see the irises of people's eyes. You mean to tell me all those cameras out there, y'all couldn't see what was going on? Come on now.
They could see. They did not do anything until it came on your show and it was explained about all those cameras, okay? It's 64 cameras within that immediate area. 64, okay? Not including rain, not including all them other things on the house.
Yes.
The only thing that they knew for sure after they ran up on a few people in question is that those guys just accidentally ran up there and started shooting at somebody they thought they seen and thought they knew, and it was just a fluke. It wasn't about no drugs because drugs is not sold up there. You have Einstein Hospital. You have all those people around there who buy Lucy's, and that's the hub for people to get a hack. If those that don't know what a hack is, that's a gypsy cab.
Right.
You don't know what a gypsy cab is. That's people who like drive you where you got to go at a lower cost than Uber, Hub, and anybody else. See, so people need to start listening and paying attention instead of kissing up to all these elected officials and trying to get props, trying to get another contract. It ain't going to work. Kenny's not giving you anything unless you do what Kenny wants you to do. You ever hear? I mean, everything I say is true. They do what they're told to do. He told them to show up. They showed up. People you haven't seen in years was up there. People I thought was dead, still on the payroll with getting funding, showed up. And they all was, why am I here? Well, the mayor's people told me to be here. He didn't call him. He had his flunkies calling me. You know what they did? They ran up there. They couldn't get up there fast enough. Talking about, man, we're going to have to clean this. Clean what up? Hack and cigarettes?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, George, because they also have, I mean, I pass there all the time. There's usually a police officer stationed at Broad and Alney. So I'm still waiting for the answer around why at that particular moment in time no one was stationed there. Was it a transference of duty? People were leaving and another one didn't come on yet? What happened? But the thing about this city, and I keep saying this, give the people some answers. Don't just sit around and act like you don't know what's going on. And let me say this with all due respect, and I do mean with all due respect. Gun buyback is a wonderful thing, but it is not the panacea for what's going on in this city. So what are the other things that we're doing, right? I saw folks who were talking about it the other day, and I looked at the guns, and I agreed with Keir Bradford Gray that the guns that they're giving for the $100 are not the guns that they're using in the street. So how can we get people to be more trusting of the system? How can we get people to turn in what they see on their Ring telephone? Because I'm telling you, we capture all kinds of data on our phone. If we didn't have a camera up in the city of Philadelphia, all of us with cameras and Ring doorbells and whatever else capture all this data. How can we make it safe for the people who capture this data for the police not to show up at their houses if you know that witness intimidation is going to be a thing, right? Have the people come and meet you somewhere or something. Get on a Zoom call and figure out how you're going to work this out. But there are ways to solve crime in this city beyond saying things like, well, we used to put them in such a hotel and it was right across the street from, okay, so if it's right across from the street from the criminal justice center, then move to where you put the witnesses. I mean, it's just simple mathematics that makes it, for me, it's like, that makes no sense.
let me say this here. It ain't even about that. If they want to stop something, they can stop it. They can shut this city down with anything they wanted within, and believe me, overnight. They want to stop this gun stuff, they can stop it overnight. Overnight. They don't want to stop it, and they're not going to stop it. And people don't want to admit the truth. You know, it's hard when you get so ignorant that you keep dumbfounding yourself. Well, first of all, the deaf hustlers definitely don't want to stop, because then that means you don't have to fund them, and they can't keep going to begging for more money. And if you ask yourself, what have they really done? Look at their track record. And the first one that says something slick, I'm going to go ahead and ask for under the American Freedom of Information.
So let me ask you this, George.
Been paid. But
let me ask you this, George. You seem to know who these people are. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, they haven't gotten out of line. The moment they get out of pocket and say something slick, then I'm going to give you the paperwork. I'm going to give you the paperwork of how much they got, and then you ask them, bring them on. Then you can ask them, what have you done for this couple $1 million that you got? What have you done for the community besides go to nice dinners and look good and this and that?
Are you insinuating that people are getting paid for not doing anything, getting contracts for that? He pays them the pop-up. We call them the pop-up Negroes, okay? When he needs some Negroes, he calls them. When he needs a photo op, he calls them. You're going to keep getting this check. Just be where I tell you to be. But like I say, they don't want to stop this killing because you know why? It's not everybody's fault. It's just those few people's fault who sat there and called themselves dogging the mayor and McNesby and his people out, talking dirty and filthy to him. And what man in his right mind going to tolerate that? He might tolerate. Oh, wait a minute. Stop for a second, George. Stop. Here's where you and here's where I'm going to diametrically disagree with you. When you are a public official, like the mayor of this city is, people are going to say what they want to say. Leadership, when you are in that level of leadership, you are ill afforded to be petty when people don't like what you say and do. That's what you're there for. They're not going to always love you, and they're not always going to pat your back. So when the people call you out and say, this is what we need to have happen, you drive around the city, the filth. Come on. What are the pieces that are being put in place? You all got $1 billion from a philanthropist to fix up the Broad Street corridor. But if you're fixing up the corridor, you're not helping the people that are living in the corridor, then what do you think is going to happen? So, yes, your people are supposed to. And the same thing for McNesby, right? He covers. Come on, George. I can't agree with you on that, man.
I ain't saying agree with me. I'm telling you what the facts are. You keep telling me what they supposed to do. Suppose an opinion is opinion, okay? What they supposed to do, what they're sworn to do is totally different. It don't work that way in this city. It don't work that way. You might think it do, but it don't. Okay.
And so how do we shift and change that, George? Let me ask you this. How do we shift? Listen to me. Then how do we shift and change it? Because here's the thing. We cannot keep going round and round week after week after week talking about the same stuff with no discernible solution. It doesn't help. So what do we do to change it, George?
Keep putting the same people in office and keep getting the same people to vote the way they vote in the council and up in Harrisburg. You notice up at Broad and Colony, it wasn't one city council person there. All those state people came there. You know, all of them. They had nothing whatsoever to do with none of that. None of it.
Okay.
But they always come up with an answer for you. Well, we can't do nothing because the Republicans control everything. Well, why do we have you in office? What we should do is elect a Republican then, and maybe we can get something.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing for the next month and a half, 2 months. The people who are running for office, anybody who wants to be interviewed, I'm interviewing them so that the people can know who is running for office. We are not here to endorse anyone. We need to know what you're running for office for, why you're running for office, and why should people vote for you, because folks need to know what's going on in this city. And to a certain extent, I agree with you, right? People don't show up for the primaries, and it looks like folks are banking on the fact that people won't show up for the primaries, right? So you win by 2 votes and 3 votes, and then you skate your little tails right on into November. That's got to stop. George, I got to go, man. You done raised my blood pressure.
Let me say this, Andrea. You know, the worst thing that ever happened was Zoom. And city council plays people to the T. They so happy that Zoom is going on because that way they can play. They never have to deal with you, which they don't like anyway. They don't have to be around you. They don't have to answer no questions. And then they come into council on Thursday giving everybody high fives. And then you got some of them in there, they think they out in the street howling and screaming, or they think everybody is deaf. Pay attention to what your elected officials do. That's all you got to do. Okay. Don't believe me, because I'm going to be all right no matter what. I mean, whatever I want them to do, they're going to do. But whatever you want them to do, you're not going to get it. That's the point. They give you nothing. The more you kiss up to them, the less you get. Keep on telling them, acting like you're their friend, and see what they do for you.
Okay.
They'll come to your grave.
All right. Okay, George. See you later. All right. Bye-bye. What is the one thing that I have said to all of you about this show, The Source? We all have a lot that's going on. And I have asked in the year, it's now a year and a couple of months, if you have a problem, what are the solutions? What are the things we can work through? How can we pull together as a community? And we talk about economic advancement. We talk about making sure that people find jobs, talking about making sure that the communities that people live in are clean and habitable. You know, when people look around and everything around them is trash filled and they feel like they have no hope, then they're going to respond to that, right? If you look in certain parts of this city where it's being gentrified, where we see a lot of white folks moving in, and let me tell you this, let me just say this, because, you know, some of y'all like to go, well, why are you talking about the white folks? Because when you look in sections of North Philly that have now become Northern Liberties and Northern this and Northern that, you see those areas of the community are much cleaner. If you can clean it up for certain parts of the community, why aren't you doing it for other parts of the community? If you're bringing in folks from different parts of the country to come and live in Philadelphia and bring them here, white, black, or indifferent, what are you doing to help the people that have lived here their entire lives? Right? And the tax base that is here. What does that look like for them? What programming do you have in place to keep them in their homes while you blend them with other people that may want to move into the city? Why can't we think that way? Why does it always have to be all or nothing at all? Why do we have to push the people out that are living here, that have already lived here and consistently lived here? You know, I'm going to take a break because I have the public affairs specialist for FEMA coming on, congressional affairs, who would want to talk to us about to register and vote for their vaccine, and they're coming to the site of the convention center this week. So let me take a quick break and then we can come back with that. And then at 3 o'clock, man, do I have a treat for you. I'm deliberately not telling you what the treat is because I want you to see for yourself. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Call us on all social media platforms. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
I went to check on Pop today. We put our hands up to the glass as if we were touching. But really, the only touching part was that we both tried to smile.
That's no way to say hello or goodbye. COVID-19 vaccines are here, but until enough of us are vaccinated, we'll all still need to help slow the spread. Keep a 6-foot distance, wear a mask, and avoid indoor social gatherings. Learn more about vaccines and slowing the spread at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. I just want to make sure that we have no other callers in. All right, so good. So I'm just, until I get my next call in at 2:20 from Nick Morici, I will read something for you here because there's so much going on. Wait a minute. Oh, Lord. Sultan, North Philly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my sister?
I'm good, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, first, I'm a first-time caller to your show, but a regular caller station and one-time host and what have you. But first, in recognizing 3 women, certainly my mother, my grandmother, and my wife for 45 years as outstanding women in my life.
Wife for 45 years.
Yeah, we just celebrated next February 7th, 45 years.
Oh, wow. Sultan is so cool.
I applaud all my sisters, my biological sisters, my Muslim sisters, and my sisters throughout the city of Philadelphia who all make a difference. But I wanted to propose an idea of change. Because I think many times we major in the minors, and sometimes we negate our victories because we're constantly debating our shortcomings. So I think that if we take a positive look, and we got an idea that's called a $600 million social impact bond. I got to send you a copy of it and would love to talk with you more in depth, but just a quick highlight. Just imagine if we're talking about employment, job training, job growth and development, talk about education, tuition-based programming, talk about public health, the opioid crisis, we talk about the gun violence, but we're also losing about 1,300 people a year to drug overdose. So if we talk about the health, public safety, all kind of programs, if we talk about increased growth and development in recreation and recreational programming, if we talk about a way to create opportunities where more young entrepreneurs can go into business on some of these commercial corridors that still exist with abandoned buildings, or just funding community-based organizations who do make a difference, who do provide services, who do serve people on a daily basis. We have been floating bonds every year, and most of the time the bonds are dealing with the infrastructure society, the highways, the bridges, the water plants, the electric systems, sports stadiums, the convention center. All those are infrastructures, but I'm talking about a bond that could deal with the human being and change the quality of life in our neighborhood, create a better way for us to grow and develop in our neighborhood. So I'm going to get your email so I can send
Get it from Michael, please. Can you hold on and get it from Michael, and he'll send it to me, okay?
I want to send you the document, then I would hope you give me an opportunity to really navigate you on it. All right?
I absolutely will. Take it easy, my brother.
Let's stop taking the past for the present, and let's stop majoring in the minors, and let's start capitalizing on the things we have done right and the growth that exists from that. Thank you.
Okay.
Peace.
Oh, you're quite welcome, my brother. Peace. Ms. Viola and Ms. May, hold on for me 1 second. Let me take Nick Morisi from Public Affairs. Nick, are you there? Nick?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Are you Morisi or Morici?
Well, it's pronounced either way. So you could call me Morisi or Morici. That's fine.
Hey, okay. All right. So good afternoon, and thank you for being on the air at such short notice. Can you let the folks know who you are and what you wanted to talk to us about?
Absolutely, and thank you for having us on at this short notice and this afternoon. It's great to talk with you and your listeners. And my name is Nick Morisi, and I work for FEMA Region 3 out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And our region oversees and supports the area here in the city of Philadelphia, specifically Pennsylvania, and then we go also into Virginia, West Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, and D.C. But we're focusing on Pennsylvania and specifically Philadelphia right now this week because we're opening up with the support and the coordination of the city of Philadelphia as well as the Pennsylvania Office of Emergency Management Agency, and we're opening up the vaccination site for COVID-19 at the Pennsylvania Convention Center right there in Center City.
Okay. All right. So you are aware that we are 44% people of color in this city, and that many folks struggle to just even get to the bus stop sometimes, much less get to the convention center, which is way out of the way of the communities that surrounds it, right? So what do you have in place for folks who may not have access to get to the convention center, if anything?
I know that the city is working with SEPTA, as well as the city is also working with rideshare and other programs like that. When this convention center was selected, it was a coordinated effort by the city. We look at demographics, of course. We are aware that there's a 44% African-American population here in the city, and we also know that anyone might not have a car or a vehicle. Right. Looking at the convention center, it is a centralized hub where any amount of public transportation can be met. I do understand your question about neighborhoods to the bus stop, and that is something that we're also working with community leaders as well as community associations to see how we could get people out there and work. And it all starts, FEMA works with every state. We support the state. We support the city. This mission, like every mission, is federally supported, state managed, and locally driven. So when we get feedback and we get information, we make sure that we do the best we can to support that with our local partners and our state partners. So with respect to the convention center, we know that it's not exactly in certain neighborhoods, but at the same time, it has a centralized hub where anyone can reach that once you get to that bus stop or that train station, and we're there, and we want to start to make a difference. By getting there and getting vaccinated, making a difference is important. It's going to help out the entire community here in the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, so I know where the centralized hub is that will get people to the convention center. It is still a heck of a hike from that centralized hub to get to wherever you're going to be vaccinating people. Will there be buses or vans there to move people from there, from the centralized hub to the vaccination clinic and back to the centralized hub?
Yes, and I would also recommend that anyone that has any transportation questions or concerns coordinate with the city. Again, this is an effort that obviously we are supporting, we are funding, and any locally driven concerns, certainly we work with the city to do that and then reach out.
I got you. Okay, so what dates are you going to be at the convention center this week?
We are going to start on the 3rd, and that is this Wednesday, and we're going to go for 8 weeks. And we will be there from early in the morning till the evening, around 8 to 8, and we're going to work 7 days a week, working to vaccinate as many folks as we can.
Okay. And anybody in the city can be a part of this?
Well, right now, they're accepting the categories of 1A and 1B. So the category 1A are essential workers, to include city workers and also grocery store employees, all those workers that during COVID helped us out, made sure that we had our groceries, made sure that we were able to have a meal on our table, made sure that we were able to share that with our community. And they trucked in there each and every day and made sure that they were there for us. So that's the one group, 1A. Now, 1B is a group that anywhere 75 and older. So that's the other category that the CDC recommends as well. So those are the two categories that we're working with right now to have vaccination.
Okay. Recognizing that you're federally supporting this program and that it's locally run, you've seen nationally how many folks have said that, the people who should be getting the vaccines are not getting the vaccines. How will they, is FEMA involved on any level with helping the city to figure out who are the people that are coming through the doors, so that we don't get 20-year-olds getting the vaccine that weren't supposed to get it, we're not essential workers? Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely. You make total sense, and there's a process. And obviously, FEMA is supporting the process that the city put forward to initiate a registration process. So that registration process is you can go online and basically sign up, and that is at covid-vaccine-interest.phila.gov. Now, you could also call a phone number, too. I have that if I could share that with you. All right. It is 215-685-5488, or you could contact 311. And then there's an email option that I'll lend your producer as well, but it's a little bit long, so I'll lend your producer like that so you can share that with your listeners as well.
So let me ask you this again. It's 215-685. Say that again, please.
685-5488.
5488, and if you go online, it's covid.vaccine.interest.phila.gov, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you could also contact 311. It's another
311. And I believe it is by appointment only. They can't just show up, correct?
Correct. No, it's not walk-ins. It is by appointment only. That's how we're going to coordinate, obviously knowing who's signing up based on age as well as based on appointment. So it's an orderly process. We're looking to vaccinate. There's a possibility of vaccinating up to 6,000 folks a day, which is a wonderful thing. We know how expansive the convention center is and how you could move people in and out of there in an orderly fashion, and that's why signing up and registering ahead of time is very important.
I am going to be following this for the next 8 weeks.
Okay.
It's so March 3rd for 8 weeks, 8 to 8, 7 days a week. You can register. Go to covid.vaccine.interest.phila.gov, or if you don't want to do all of that, call 311. And if you want to do this, 215-685-5488. Nick Morisi, thank you so much. Can you come back on to give us an update?
I was actually going to ask I was actually going to ask if you'd have me again, because it's been a pleasure, and I think as we progress through here on this mission, and with the help of yourself as well as all your listeners, I'd love to give an update when you'd like one in the next couple weeks or so.
Okay, one more question. Someone says, what about people with pre-existing conditions? Are they in the 1B?
Yes. So that thank you very much for qualifying with that one. Yes. So that would be something that please fill out that application, please fill out the registration, and then obviously list those pre-existing conditions, and then obviously that goes through, and then that's for consideration.
All right. Great question, Teresa Purnell. She just asked that right away, just before you got off the line. So thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure. When you get off the phone with me, reach back out to Brianna, my producer, and she will put you in every week for 8 weeks so we can continue to have updates. All right?
Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
that.
quite
Have a wonderful
welcome.
day. Take care.
You too. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, wow. That was so good. Aunt May from Olney, how are you? Aunt May?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you, madam?
I honor you. I say I honor my mother, my grandma, and Mama Sealy. She said something pertinent. She said, you know how we say we stand on the shoulders? She said, it was on the back. I remember my grandma picking cotton. They were on their back. So I think going forward, she said, maybe we are on their back. We ain't on their shoulders. We have not the right to stand that high.
Right.
And to pull them up. And you're doing that. If you can do it, everybody doesn't have to. That's the WURD family. If the WURD family has officer, police commissioner, why do another host have to have them? It's no earning the right. Let that go. We are where we at. I support what I support, who I support. But if this is a family, within that family, there's something going on, because there's no way even a caller calling in, well, why they ain't come on your show? What are you talking about, Blue Boy? He was on my aunt's show last week. I brought her to the city. I didn't even bring her to your house. She ended up at your house and then somebody else's house. Why I got to be in it? I'm over here watching.
There you go.
We are
you're right.
the women in our families, and we standing on their backs. And when we stand up, guess what we did? We lifted. When they did that for Baba, and we got to start giving them the correct names, we have no right to call them by their first name. Once they crossed over, returned to Allah, not left. Brother Cody did not leave behind his legacy. He went forward. He returned to Allah. You know what I'm saying, sister? We're returning. And us left here now is like, we got these on our backs. We got to pull up. Then we maybe might have some shoulders to stand on, but what they gave us, it was strong. Them backs, you see how many bodies on these backs? Honor the women. I love all of y'all, and we stand on it. Anybody that's in the ear to this can hear. We are on their backs. My mama, your mama, they the same.
Thank
like
you,
they say
May.
in North Philly, what we say, I'm on your top.
Thank you, Aunt May. I appreciate your calling in. Have a good one, okay?
You too.
All right, bye-bye. I love the wisdom of the WURD listeners. I'm telling you. All right, Miss Viola, how are you?
Hi, Andrea. I am fantastic. How are you doing?
I am good. You know, another day trying to help elevate my people, you know, get us where we need to be.
You want me to tell you who's the first person that I read about in elementary school, and I admired her the rest of my days as far as an opera singer was concerned and what she did, was Leontine Price. When I first saw her, I was overwhelmed to see this black woman who was an opera singer. Then I'll add my grandmother. My grandmother lived to be 85. My mother, her daughter died at the age of 49 from breast cancer. But my grandmother just took anybody and everybody in. I could go to her house on Sundays and take whoever it was with me. She treated them just like they were family. And my mother died at the age of 49, but I survived on so many things that my mother told me when I was young. And I said, wow, it's almost like she was here knowing that this was going to happen. And I'm going to add you to my list because you give us so much information, especially on education. I've told you a number of times that I sure wish I knew you or you were in Philadelphia at the time that my girls were in school, because I was everywhere. Whatever happened in school, I was there. I'd leave a lady in the chair and go out and go to their school, especially when my oldest daughter was at the School of it was part of Germantown, Lankenau. And I would leave a lady in the chair and say, I'll be right back. I got to go see about what's going on with my daughter in school. And they were patient with me. And then I'd have to add Miss Faye Snyder, who was a school teacher that worked at Wagner Junior High. I never had her, but she was my neighbor. And she's still living. And someone asked me a couple of months ago, you mean Miss Snyder? I said, yes. I said, she can't really move around. I said, but God still gives her brain that she can still talk. And she was from West Oak Lane. So it was a lot of things that we learned, neighbors and people that lived in our, blocks at that time. But as far as me getting the COVID, I got my first shot on Friday.
Yes, I saw. You put it up on Facebook.
Yes, and you see I had all of my
WURD gear. Yes.
Because I wanted to be known that I was honoring Cody Anderson as well as family and friends because we want to live a long time. I want to live as long as the Lord says I'm going to live. And in order to be well, I felt as though that vaccine was part of what I needed to do. But I just love your show. I can't pick a show because I have about 4 different favorite shows.
Yes.
So my thoughts were that I'm going to do an automatic payment, like $10 a month towards WURD Radio. And I'm saying this because I want the people to know that there's always a way of paying at $90 and not have to pay it at one time. So that's what I intend on doing. But WURD is what it is. I listen to it all the time wherever I go. But I want to stay well so that I can travel this summer because I got to hit the road.
Miss Viola, so can I just tell you, when I am telling you I am cruising, I am itching to cruise, right? You might see me out there. Because I am so tired of just sitting around, and I got both my vaccines, and we still want to be safe. Can I share something with you that I read this morning? That there were hardly any cases of influenza this season because everybody was wearing their masks and washing their hands. For years, the Center for Disease Control kept saying to people, wash your hands and sneeze in your elbow, and people did not listen. Because we were forced to wear masks, the cold medicines are sitting on the shelf. Nobody's buying cold medicines because everybody's safe because they don't have the flu. And so what I've decided is that we're going to consistently carry masks and wipes and make sure that when we go into large places or go on a plane or we're going to keep our mask on. It's something we're going to have to get accustomed to in the near future, and don't think that because we get vaccinated, we no longer have to wear our masks.
I shared with some ladies that the age that I am, I will be wearing a mask the rest of my life because I have more years in back of me than I have in front of me. And I intend to wear a mask. And I intend to keep Lysol in my car. And I want to travel across the country in my car. So therefore, I'm not positive about the cruise yet. But if somebody comes up with a cruise to Bermuda, I may take them up on it. But in the meantime, that's my whole thing. And I would like to take 2 of my grandsons that are still in school. I would like to take them down to Alabama to the Slave Museum that's there in Alabama.
Yes.
That's what I intend on doing. I feel safer in my car than I do in other places. So I have a few cousins that I want to see in California. And when you say talk on the telephone, I must have been with a cousin. Yes, well, he's not actually a cousin. I found out that he's my stepbrother, not my cousin. But we were on the phone yesterday for 5 hours.
Wow. That's a long time, Ms. Viola.
Yes, it is. And we talked about a little bit of everything from A to Z, as well as, have I ever mentioned to you about the United States Department of Agriculture 1890 scholarship program?
Hold on 1 second. Let me take a quick break so that when I come back, you and I can talk about that without having to interrupt you. Can you hold on 1 second for me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
All right. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
What's up, everyone? I know you know the word, no, not the station, but this word, J-O-B that is, and our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
Livelihood. WURD Radio's new initiative, connecting Black Philadelphians with jobs, entrepreneurship resources, small business development information, and financial literacy tools. Learn more at wordworks.com. That's WURD-WORKS.com. And stay tuned to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. Man, the last couple of hours have just been for the WURD listeners, with the exception of talking to Nick Marisi from who was a public affairs specialist at FEMA, to talk about the fact that FEMA will be here in Philadelphia. It's federally funded but locally run, so that means we still have to go through the city of Philadelphia to make sure we get things done. My husband said he called 311 6 times so far, and all he keeps getting is a busy signal, call back again. So make sure you want to do this. Let me just double check, because I want folks to be able to get access to this vaccine and that we don't have another debacle in this city. 215-685-5488 if you don't have access to being online. And if you want to go online, it's covid.vaccine.interest.philly.gov, right? And so they'll be here from March 3rd. They'll be here for 8 weeks, from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, 7 days a week. They're taking Group 1A, the essential workers and the city employees, and people with the Group 1B, pre-existing conditions, and people who are 75 and older. So I am literally following this for the next 8 weeks. I might show up at the convention center just so I can see and talk to people and do a live video around who is actually showing up to get this vaccine and how is it working, because I really don't want us to have another debacle here. And if we can, if the city is willing to partner with those of us who are talking to the people in the communities that are actually in need of these vaccines, then we don't always have to just depend on Dr. Ayla Stanford. But I need you all to get outside of yourselves and start picking up the phone and telling us exactly what we need to do and how we need to help you to help the people. All right, Miss Viola, keep going. You there, Ms. Viola?
I'm still here. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The United States Department of Agriculture has a program for scholarships, and it's the 1890 Scholarship Program. I just sent the information to my brother in California, and it's a $200,000 scholarship. And how I learned about it was that one of my cousins in Oklahoma City came to Washington, D.C. You have to come in person to pick up that scholarship. She went to Prairie View A&M in Texas for 4 years, didn't pay a penny, and she has a job with the United States Department of Agriculture in Washington. You have to promise that you'll work maybe a year or so with the department based on them giving you the scholarship. Yes. But it's not many people that know about that, and they're all attached to the HBCU colleges across the country. There's 25 colleges in all. And, that needs to be known, because I tell people about it when I see someone with a child. I mention it to them, because half the time they don't know where this child is going to wind up at. Yes. But that's on that. But let me call out my grandmother's name. Her name was Tansy Richburg. My mother's name was Dorothy Mae Richburg Bolden. And I have to call out my special aunt who lives in Philadelphia that I come to see when I stay with her. And her name is Dolores Crawford. And those are my people that I honor, that I'm on their backs when I go out to do things and help other people. And I'm coming up on Wednesday to take one of my former hairdresser people to get her vaccine and take her shopping. I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes from Philadelphia. Wow. But I'm glad to be able to do anything that I know that will help someone out. So that's my thing. But if I think you don't get all the info on the USDA, I will make sure that I send it to your email.
Send it to my email because it's a conversation I had with someone from Cheney and from Delaware State University right here on this show over the last year about that same scholarship. But I think we need to keep pushing it some more so that more people will take advantage of it, right? Because I think you have to be a farmer in order to access the USDA Agriculture Scholarship. So let's work through that. Okay? Thank you so much, Ms. Viola. I appreciate you.
Thank you, and have a great day and a great week. And I'll be listening.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. So, as we're talking about Women's History Month, of course, I'm fabulous women are coming on for the entire month. And I want you all for the entire month to call and let me know who are the women in your lives that you're honoring locally and nationally, people in your entire families, because without us women, this world would not go round. We're the ones carrying the babies and bringing them to life and nurturing them and teaching them and loving up on them and getting them to where they need to be with our partners. So this one woman came to mind for me. I had to go to a funeral on Saturday. Valerie Ward from the Willow Grove chapter of the NAACP went to her funeral in Abington, and they bring up the teleprompter, and oh my God, the amount of things that woman was involved in. I don't know when she slept, right? She was part of this, part of that. She was going all the way over here. And it brought back to memory a time when Valerie Ward called me and she said, we need to go to the state meeting for the NAACP and we want you to drive us. And I said, ma'am, we who? And she named 3 other women that were about her age. They were all like in their 70s. Oh my gosh, that was so hilarious. This was years ago when Jerry Shire was still alive. And that was the first time I met him. I got to the meeting and I see this man in a cowboy hat and everybody's revering him. I probably saw Kathy Hickson, didn't even realize I saw her back then. And I'm going, who is this man? Well, Hunty, I get in the car and I'm driving these women up to the state conference for the NAACP, and they gave me a what for. I felt like I was 2 years old, but it was nice to know that we could continue to love and honor and treasure them up until the point where we couldn't anymore. So Valerie Ward had her funeral on Saturday and has since been buried. The other woman that sticks out for me is Marietta Tanner, who was in her 90s, got married again at 90 or 91, wrote a book at the same time, jumped out of an airplane, went and visited Africa. Listen, women are amazing. And she is still alive in the Carolinas somewhere with her daughter and her husband, right? So she got married. Listen to me, y'all. It's never too late to get married. Miss Tanner got married again in her 90s. I'm just trying to let you know. And she knew Thurgood Marshall. This is a history. So never look down on the folks that have been here and doing what they need to do. But the one that took me out was when I was sitting in Salem Baptist Church on Saturday, and I said, is Mrs. Peartree still alive? And they looked at me and chuckled and said, still alive? She is here and kicking. Mrs. Peartree, God rest her soul, on April 8th or 9th, I believe, will be 110 years old. Sassy, still telling everybody, y'all, she's so sweet. I used to go pick her up for her birthday and we would go to have lunch. And, it's probably why at my age, in my middle 50s, why I'm still as humble as I can be, because I'm learning from those who paved the way before me. And they've taught me in so many ways that in order for you to be a leader, you first must be humble and a servant to those who are around you. It does not mean to be subservient and to break your back for people who are not going to appreciate you, but to really take care of those who came before, paved the way, and taught us what we needed to know. It is why I love Susan L. Taylor so much, and to the folks in the family. And the last person I'm going to give homage to before I take a break is my mama. So my mother is getting on in age. And my sisters, there are 4 of us, and so my sisters were like, well, let's call to see what she needs. Maybe we need to fly in. My parents have been together for over 50 something years. Maybe we need to fly in to see about her. So we told one sister to call, who is a nurse, and so she called Saturday morning and talked to mommy. And then this morning I called mommy and she said, I want you wretches to know that I think you're trying to do an intervention. I am fine. I gave birth to the 4 of you, and there's nothing you think you can do. I knew when one called that this is what was going on, and I'm just paying attention to see what is it that y'all want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. And I said to her, listen, I do recognize that you're not going to be able to live forever, but what I want to make sure is that as long as you and daddy are here, that your quality of life is good. right? So for my siblings and I, we already have a plan in place for our parents. They won't come and live with any of us because they're living by themselves and they are taking care of themselves. My mother still walks 4 or 5 miles a day. My father still cuts his grass and paints and does whatever they want to do. And they look good. They look good. But we know they can't uphold and sustain that forever. So love on the people that have loved on you. It may not have been the people that gave birth to you, but the people who raised you. Right? Talk about that teacher that, so many educators, and I have to say this, and since in the teaching profession, most educators, so many of them, 2/3 of them at least are women, right? But the men too. So many educators have been the only saving grace for so many children. I remember going to a conference one year and meeting this white man who said, wrote a book called The Boy Called It. His mother was very involved in the Parent Teachers Association. Everybody in the community loved her, thought she was the best thing since sliced bread. She wasn't feeding her children. She was abusing them. She had them locked up in the basement, all kinds of crazy things. And it was a teacher. It was a teacher who noticed that something was wrong and was willing to buck the system and buck this mother who was powerful, quote unquote, to get help for her children. And so when you see something is wrong, without courage, and I say this all the time because Maya Angelou says this, without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue consistently, right? So when you see something is wrong, it may not feel good, it may not make you popular, but if you see something is wrong, speak up about it, right? Get your voice heard and help others who may not be able to speak up and help for themselves. When you leave here, what is your dash going to say about you? Did you come here from 1945 to 1989 and we don't know anything in between other than you partied and had a good time? How did you serve your neighbors? I have friends who live right here in Philadelphia who take care of all their elderly neighbors on the street. How are we doing that? You hear Tyrone and Maurice and the rest of them calling, right? How are we doing that to help each other? Because it starts there. And then we can figure out the collective economics. You know, those who are capable and aware and know what to do can figure out the collective economics for our people. And then we can figure out how we can get lobbyists at the federal level on behalf of a Black agenda. We can't keep talking about what's not working when we're so much that is, right? And that there's so much power that resides within us as a community that we can get done. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
It's Women of Color Her Story Month 2021 in the city of sisterly affection. This is a time to celebrate the power, legacy, and achievement of Black women. Brought to you by New Voices for Reproductive Justice, based here in Philadelphia. This year's theme is Black Majesty. You are invited to 4 virtual events from February 15th to March 15th. Visit womenofcolorherstory.org and WOC Her Story on Facebook and Twitter for full event details.
Your child deserves to be educated in a safe and supportive learning environment. Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School, a tuition-free public school, is accepting applications for the 2021-2022 school year. SLAC's 2 locations offer single-gender classrooms in a dual-gender environment. Kindergarten and first-grade classrooms have a 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Students learn music, art, and fitness. Southwest Leadership educates the whole child, preparing students to become leaders. slacks-phila.org, Instagram at Southwest Leadership Academy, or email info@slacks-phila.org.
In celebration of women, Nina Simone.
I'll tell you what freedom is to me. No fear. I mean, really, no fear. If I could have that half of my life, no fear. That's the only way I can describe it.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Philadelphia. Independent Black media.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. Let me just make sure my microphone is where it's supposed to be. Welcome back to The Source. If you're just joining us, we have spent the last couple of hours talking to the WURD listeners and Nick Morisi, Public Affairs Specialist at FEMA, to talk about bringing FEMA here, federally funded but locally run. When he said that, the hair on the back of my neck went up, because then I began asking myself questions, because the questions I was asking him he could not answer, which was, well, how are we going to help the people, because this is all the local stuff. The reason why we're having the issues locally is because So much was going on in the city that wasn't working. And so I have to read this from Forrest Dixon. Dr. Stanford and company recognized early and met our community's needs for a testing and vaccination program when the vacuum was great. The city is now partially using her model. Yes, they are. And it is being rolled out across the country. It is amazing that we are now getting mass vaccination sites and someone else is being paid and brought in to provide the service. I hope they will infuse a lot more funding into her program so that her program can expand and continue to provide the service in the neighborhoods for people who do not have transportation and should not be required to go to mass vaccination sites and wait in unnecessarily long lines. I don't know who Forrest Dixon is, but I got to tell you, Forrest Dixon is right on point. You see, for those of us who have been quietly working in the background, one of the things I learned very early on, which is why I've been pushing voraciously for Dr. Ayla Stanford, is that the city was brought Dr. Ayla Stanford a long time ago. And folks in the communication department would say to them, well, who is she? We don't know who she is. She's a medical doctor. All you had to do was Google her, and gave her such a hard time. And she kept working without them trying to help, because in the very beginning, nobody was trying to hear Dr. Ayla Stanford's name. As far as they were concerned, she was a black woman who came out of nowhere. And so you could see the game playing already taking place, right? Folks in the communication department, I'm telling you all this. You all have wonderful millennials, folks who are young, who are consider themselves progressive, but are tone deaf to what's going on in our communities. To this day, I cannot see where anyone is pulling in Dr. Stanford to the place where, because you all are afraid of what? What are you afraid of? With Dr. Ayla Stanford. She has shown herself to be true. She's come into the community without the help, the city of Philadelphia help. I am aware that the mayor is giving her more vaccines when she needs them and that kind of stuff, but there's still this chasm. There's still this feeling of, who does she think she is? That's a feeling that we get. You see, because we as black people, we're not simple and we're not stupid. So we feel it. If you want to embrace this woman and what she has brought, because they're right, what she's brought to this city is now being rolled out around the country. What are you doing to embrace her? We're afraid to give her extra money. What are we doing? I'm asking these questions because up until right now, I still don't feel like Dr. Ayla is getting her just desserts in this city. I don't see the kind of funding being thrown at her the way I see funding being thrown everywhere else. Where is she involved in this rolling out of the FEMA? And if I am wrong, let me know, because I am happy to be wrong. But for the love of God, especially on Women's History Month, can we applaud and embrace this woman and say thank you? Thank you for what she has done for us in this city, and to make sure that those of us who would have not ordinarily been seen got what we needed to. Can we just do that? All right, Michael, I think I saw Tiffany. So let me just go ahead and get started. I did. Tiffany, open up your microphone and your thing down. There you go. All right, so I have got a story to tell you all. This is going to be so much fun. So I don't even know where to start. Let me introduce. Where is your partner?
She was not able to come on.
Okay, all right. Let me just do this. All right, let me quickly take Bree, Tiffany. Bree, are you there?
Yes, hi.
How are you, Bree? What's going on?
Good. I just wanted to comment on Dr. Ayla Stanford. I'm really proud of her, and she deserves a lot of recognition. I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball, but I believe that it could be racism. That's the reason why she's not being used as much as she should be, and because of that 22-year-old student that took over, and now they have all these other people trying to, come in and do whatever they're trying to do. But I think Dr. Ayla Stanford deserves first place and first dibs on everything, because she's trusted in the community. And
I agree, Bree. Can I add this?
A shout out.
Can I add this about Dr. Stanford though? She was very open in saying that when all of this was rolling out, the city tried to get her to partner with this 22-year-old. And she said, no, I've been a doctor longer than this child has even been alive, right? And so they gave that child, that young man, more vaccines than they gave her in the initial thing. It became such a debacle around this country. It is something I will not stop talking about until somebody gives us some clarity on what happened to that 22-year-old that they gave the contract to. Who are the people that were behind the 22-year-old? Because clearly he didn't do this by himself, right? And clearly the folks in the city want us to think that nothing to see here. We're working it out. We have a mass vaccination clinic now. But sir, madam, whoever it is, we're still looking at you because there's still some unanswered questions that we need to have taken care of in this city. No more can you look at us as a group of people and create such a debacle and then say, nothing to see here, we're just moving on. One woman resigned from her job because she sent out an email and one to Dr. Ayla. You think that was okay for us? Do you think this was enough for us to say moving right along? And this is why when we talk to FEMA, Bree, I say to them, oh, so you're just federally funding this. See, words matter. We're federally funding this, but it's locally run. So I want to see how these local people are running this and who are the folks that they're using to run this mass vaccination clinic that they're going to have for the next 8 weeks down at the convention center. I'm waiting. I am waiting because quite frankly, Bree, this is a stain on this city. It's a stain on this city the way they treated the one person who walked into the community to make sure we were getting testing at absolutely no cost. The one person in this city that most people trusted. I don't get to talk to Dr. Ayla. I don't even, other than interviewing her on the show last March for Women's History Month. That's how all of you were introduced to her, through this show, when I brought her on for Women's History Month and she started talking about COVID-19 and then took it upon herself to take her own money to go do what she needs to do. So the stiff-necked people that are behind the scenes talking the yin-yang, please understand that people are talking to us. People are letting us know what you're saying, and it ain't good. So stop with the foolishness and figure out how you're going to support this black woman who has done everything to keep stave the bleeding and the death in this city, simply by opening up her money, her pocket, and her time and her energy from her own practice to take care of the black people here.
Yeah, and the second thing and the last thing I wanted to say was, I hope Dr. Ayla Stanford can still continue to come on your show and give us guidance and leadership. And,
will do. Will do.
And I really would like to know what has happened to the 22-year-old and all the people who put him up top front, and who's putting all of these people up front again over Dr. Ayla Stanford. I think it's very unfair, and I really, really would like to know what's going on and who's making all these decisions and why.
Yeah, I agree, Bree. It's not. I don't see this as unfair. I see it as disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Yeah. Board certified, one of the very first board certified position for her specialty, black woman. Disrespectful. And so, no, we're not letting it go. Because if we let it go for Dr. Ayla, who has created has been known nationally now, just hit the Forbes list for the work that she's doing and can't get the kind of respect that she needs to get in her city because there are people behind the scenes, we just can't do it. So moving right along. Thank you, Bree. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
All right. Bye-bye. So let me just go on over here. I want to introduce you to someone. On Thursday, right after I got off the air on The Source, I was sitting, exhausted. I really work hard on these shows, right? I get off the show and I'm like a wet noodle. So I'm sitting there talking to my husband and I see this thing, my inbox on Instagram pinged, and this woman says, hey, Andrea, hope you're doing well. What can we do to make our store one of your favorite places to be? Like one of your favorite places. This young lady who I didn't know who she was. I went to her page and I looked and I said, ooh, it's some African-centered stuff. I'm always going to take a look. So I reached back out to her and I said, nothing. You don't have to do anything. Let me come and take a look at your store. She was aware, but I didn't know that she was aware, that I go into Black-owned businesses and I highlight them. When I see what they're doing, when I love what they're all about, I go in and I highlight them. I highlighted Uncle Bobby's when it's open, so much so they thought Uncle Bobby's was my third office. And then I went to Yardane and put up a 1-minute video that got them 3.2 million hits, and 2 brand new store openings later, they were off and running, right? And people kept saying, well, didn't you get any money from them? No. Black businesses are struggling and suffering in this country. Long before COVID hit, we were the least that people paid attention to, and it's, oh my God, I can't believe she's charging that kind of money, and where are they, and that kind of stuff. So on Saturday, after I left the funeral of Miss Valerie Ward, I called my husband and I said, I'm driving down to this store in West Philadelphia. It's called Art and Soul at 5912 Haverford Avenue. Never been there before. I have this major thing that I have to do in about 3 weeks, right? So I needed something. And so I said to Tiffany, when we were talking, I said, if you let me wear this piece, I will pay for it. But if you let me wear this piece, I'll wear it to this thing and I'll tell everybody where I got the thing from, trying to promote Black and Black. I get to the store. I'm going somewhere with this. I get to the store, and Janice was in there, her partner, and she puts the thing on me. And I just calmly opened up my phone, and I pressed Facebook, and all I wrote was, Father God. That's what I wrote. That was the first thing I wrote. And I went live. And for the next 36 minutes, I was on there telling everybody about everything that was going on in that store. And Lord, I had to come home and repent and tell my husband all the things. So Tiffany, good afternoon, honey. How are you?
Good afternoon, my dear. Very well. I'm well.
Oh my gosh. So tell everybody about your store and the experience on Saturday and what you carry. I asked you to get on Zoom so that you could show us some of the things that you carry in your store. This is a Black woman that rocks. She has a full-time job, and she opened up a space for our people. You will hear when she tells you. So tell everybody, Tiffany.
Oh goodness. And look, I'm still recovering from Saturday, right? My name is Tiffany. Well, first and foremost, thank you again, Andrea, for allowing me to, share this space with you. And I really, really appreciate the opportunity and the little party that we had, because it turned into a party. Everybody has to look at that live on Andrea's page when you have a minute. It's going to bring you so much joy. It's like Black joy personified in that 36 minutes. But my name is Tiffany Murphy, and I am a co-owner of Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique. Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique is an art gallery. It's a small community art gallery and a boutique, an African Center boutique. We are in the heart of West Philadelphia at 5912 Haverford Avenue. And my partner and I, we opened up in July 2019 with the expressed intent to bring culture, bring style, bring a sense of purpose and a safe haven, just as all Black businesses do, to the heart of the Haverford community. So, we're really intentional in terms of the things that we bring in. Of course, we have statement pieces like the statement pieces that you absolutely fell in love with, those one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry, accessories. I'm a designer. I am a designer by trade. So, whenever I have time between everything that I'm doing and I'm able to create certain pieces and collections, I do. But we also incorporate other local businesses and encourage them to bring to partner with us to bring their stuff into our space, because it's so much bigger than, just the products that we produce and sell, but our ability to create a platform for other businesses, because again, like I said on Saturday, it's just easy to be transactional and, buy and sell things, but it's like, what's the next step that we can take? What can we do more to, just kind of pour in and love on our community a little more? So,
right. So all right. So I design just about everything I wear. In 2014, I got sick and tired of going into stores and trying to find a suit that was $500-600 when I can go buy a piece of fabric and have that suit made, and it cost me 1/3 of what they would charge in the store, right? Yeah. Plus, I decided that I did not want to give my money to people who were undeserving. What came out of that was the woman that you see today, right? So when I walked into your store, I was not prepared to be blown away the way I was, because I am someone that looks for statement pieces. Had not spent any money through COVID, and I kept hearing over and again that Black and brown business were struggling. They were only like 3 or 4%, if that, money in the city of Philadelphia, and yet 2%, right? And they were struggling, and so many of them were closing. So we were trying to figure out a way to support this business. When I tell you, y'all, and when we go on break, I'm going to get that necklace, because I did get that necklace. I saw a necklace in there, and I started speaking in tongues. It was a Shandalama glory. Then next thing you know, I was preaching, telling people what to do. It was crazy. People were cash apping me. And can you pick up this for me? And can you pick up that for me? And I still had the stuff in my car. Like, y'all come get your stuff. Y'all made me buy the stuff. Come get your stuff. and it was just so much fun. So do you have any pieces that you can show people, like what's in the store?
I had some. I wasn't sure if I was what to bring or what to prepare.
All right. So
for,
tell me what you have.
I do have a few pieces, so I will have to go in the other room and get it. So I don't.
Okay. So are you on a laptop right now talking to me?
I am on a laptop.
Okay. All right. So we'll get the pieces. Go get the pieces, and I'm hoping I wanted to get the necklace, but I don't think my husband will be able to find it. So there was this great necklace made out of buttons. Everything in the store is African centered. This is a sister with a full-time job that helps young people all the time. And then she has this program for Black women, head wraps and conversations, where she would teach folks how to wrap their heads with the new head. Because let me just be clear, I love seeing them on the African sisters. I love seeing my Black sisters wearing their head wraps all the time, but I had no clue how to do it. And so what she did was started this program just for sisters to come in. She would teach them how to wrap their heads, and then she would have a therapist in the room to talk to them about what was going on in their lives. She features local artists from around the city of Philadelphia, and everything is reasonable. She had so as I was doing the live, people started showing up. Sincerely Sarita came through. and my friend Leah and Angela, as I was doing the live, people started coming to the store from the live and were just finding their things. There were jackets that were reversible that was $40. There were these great t-shirts about Black woman powerful, She had a little bit of something for everybody. So what do you have, Tiffany, so that they can see?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite pieces. This is our mini statement necklace.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very simple. It's a one piece. All you have to do is tie it up, and it's instant glam, right? So you can dress this up or dress it down.
Yes.
So
we can see it, or we can absolutely see it. Yes.
You can dress this up or dress this down, from t-shirts to jeans.
Yes.
Or if you want to go ahead and wear this with a dress to like a more formal event, this is the statement piece. So really, like I said, really simple. Again, it's reasonable, and it kind of transcends just about everything.
What does a piece like that cost?
This is $65.
Yep. I done that. So I have a diva daughter that bought all these pieces, and then she would wear them around me. I said, "Ooh, I like that. Give that to me." All right, go ahead. Let me see what else you've got.
Another piece is this right here. Is
Wakanda. Yes.
Again, really simple yet elegant, and you can dress this up or dress this down. We have a few different color options available in the store. Handmade.
Yes.
From West Africa.
Yes.
And this is reasonable as well. So trying to tie it on.
It's okay. See it. I love that. I would actually pull the pieces up and make it like a
choker.
Yes. Yes. See that? Yep. Yeah, I didn't see that in the store. Okay. Yes. What else you have?
I have a head wrap. So yeah, that's one of our staple pieces.
Yes, I was telling them about the head wrap. So tell them about the head wrap and conversation. So about what you were doing there.
Healing, yes.
Head wrap and healing, yes.
So like I was saying before, it's easy to be transactional, and run a business, but you always want to ask yourself the question, at least I do, what more can I do for my people? Because there's so many people that don't have the same access to certain things. So how can we afford these opportunities, or at least programming to address needs, right? So what we did in 2019, we started a community series of head wraps and healing. So, and just talking to lots of sisters through my vending ventures and events and things like that, it turns out that a lot of our sisters don't know how to tie a standard head wrap, right? So with Head Wraps and Healing, it's a 2-part program where we teach sisters how to tie a head wrap, but we also talk about the political and the historical significance of the head wrap that goes as far back to Africa, to the implementation or implications from slavery to its significance today, and just really sharpening the lens and having a visual representation of our heritage, culture, right? So that's the head wrap side. But with the healing side, I bring in colleagues that are licensed therapists that talks about just us as Black women, how we function as a pillar of our community. families, how we hold down whole households, work multiple jobs, take care of our kids, and, we just really make it happen at the expense of our own mental health, right? So we have these conversations and, it's really relatable, but we as Black women don't take enough time out to practice self-care or even know what the indicators are to let us know what self-care, when to take a self-care break, right?
Right.
So, we have the therapist that does a number of exercises and talks about indicators to the body that causes this self-harm that lets us know that we need to go ahead and do like small things for self-care, even if it's as small as a manicure. Give yourself a candlelight bath, anything that just really focuses on you and takes someone else out the center, takes someone else out the center and just focuses on you so you can recharge and then get back, right? So, it was just wildly popular, and we wanted to do it again in 2020, and then coronavirus happened.
So could you teach us how to do a head wrap right now while we're on the Zoom? So
sure.
Yeah, because I think if you can teach us how to do it, then, and let me grab my head wrap. Start for me. I'm going to grab a head wrap. I'm going to have a head wrap.
I have a standard head wrap from our shop, and the head wraps that we provide are really large. They measure about 22 by 17.
If you can teach it online, then we can do a head wrap and healing online, right?
Maybe.
Right. So,
because the healing side, and just the nature of what sisters are sharing,
right?
It's better to have it in person. But if you can figure out an adaptation.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I'll do something very similar to what I wrapped for you this past Saturday, Mother.
Okay. All right. Look at that.
Really simple, right? Grabbing both ends, and then you have to know your head, right? What your head is willing to tolerate.
Right.
So you wrap.
Look at that.
And then I like to go ahead and just twist to ensure that the wrap stays on.
Okay.
Wrap, right? Wrap.
Look at that. I can't stand it.
It's a series of tucks to make sure that you have the desired style.
Wow. I got my headphones on, otherwise I try to do it. Okay, that is amazing. Can you do that again? Show people how you did it again. No, seriously, because that was so easy, and most sisters won't try it because they don't think they can do it. So take it off again, and then show us a different style.
Sure. So, I think something that's really important to say is that with head wrap styling, you don't focus on being perfect, but you want to focus on it just representing like a certain style. It doesn't have to, you don't have to stress out about replicating what you see on YouTube. Even if you make a certain variation of a different style, that'll work. So.
Right. Wow. So tell us why you decided to start this place. You have a full-time job. It's not like you're sitting around doing absolutely nothing. You have a full-time job. What made you decide to start this business?
Well, I'm a designer by trade, and I've been creating jewelry and bending and connecting with people. And similar to your story, I started designing things out of necessity. I didn't see the things that reflected my interest in stores.
Right.
Just African centered, African made. So I started a small business, Soulful Buttons, back in 2014. And that just kind of grew because people saw what I was making, but it was affordable.
Yes.
I'm always interested in meeting people where they are with certain things. So, that just kind of blossomed. I hooked up with my longtime sister friend, Janice Newsom-Williams, and we came up with Art and Soul in 2019.
Wow. Wow. And what has been the response to Art and Soul? I mean, after Saturday, I'm telling you, I'm going to need you to, the folks are coming.
We're battening down the hatches. Yes, that's right. We're getting ready. But the community response has just been amazing. The community has embraced us on so many different levels, and we've experienced, just one of a kind type of experiences. So As I was mentioning earlier, we're a safe haven, just as all Black businesses are. We're a safe haven for our people. So it was some occurrences where, children were being bullied.
Right.
And they were being followed home, and they will run into our store and, seek refuge. So,
oh, wow.
So you had things like that happen. People that, may need like a phone charge so they can catch an Uber to get home. These essential necessities that may not be available or accessible in other places, but with Black businesses, we'll open up our arms widely to our people to meet their needs. So.
I loved your energy. I tell people all the time, if I didn't like your energy, you wouldn't have seen me on Saturday. But you made the ask. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and find out from you why did you choose to make that ask when you did? And they want to see you do it again. I told you they want to see you rap it again. So let's take a quick break. And the fabric is amazing. So you're going to tell them what those head wraps cost. And with the matching mask, she has a matching mask, honey. So let me take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, okay? Yep. You are listening to The Source. I told you it was going to be some good stuff. 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet. Hold on. Whew. But it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Her's Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Her's.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Intimacy and truth during pandemic times. The 4 kinds of love: sex, eros, philia, agape. The 3 ways to say I love you: information, intimacy, behavior. Information, intimacy, behavior. Remember, this is a pandemic time for the world. It's time to gather around and be truthful and real and honest and joyful. Hold hands and smile, for goodness sake. Don't forget the children, the teenagers, the older generations. Music and dance time is any time, even if you hum or do the electric slide. Blessed assurance. I sing because I'm happy, Sam Cooke. Shake, order Jackson 5. I gotta be starting something. Yes, dancing is allowed during pandemic times. Oh, happy day.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. If you're just joining us, I have on the line with me Tiffany, who is the owner of Art and Soul. The Art and Soul Gallery, it's a clothing and boutique. Gallery and Boutique at 5912 Haverford Avenue in West Philadelphia. I literally went and found the necklace. I want you all to see this. That I walked into the one part of the store, and I flipped out when I saw this necklace. Tell them about this necklace. Who created this?
We work with various artists and artisans from all over Africa to bring things here.
This came from Africa?
Mm-hmm.
You better.
Yep.
That's why I had such an affinity to it. Yes. Where did this come from in Africa?
West Africa and Ghana. Wow. Mm-hmm.
See, y'all. So I saw this necklace and started speaking in tongues. I lost my mind. Literally lost my mind. I'm like, this necklace is amazing. Yesterday I wore it with all black. I had on a black leather pants with a black top and this necklace. And I cannot tell you how many people were like, oh my gosh, it just speaks to you, right? All right, so show them the head wrap again, how to do it. All right.
So
pay attention, y'all. She's doing it again. All right. This is so awesome. And tell them how much the head wrap pieces cost.
So our head wraps are available on our site for $23, and then you can buy the head wrap and mask combo for $35.
Yes. Okay. All right. Here we go. So this is easy if I didn't have my thing on my head, but I know now. Miss Belinda in a store in, she is from, I think she's from Ghana too. I'm not sure. In West Philadelphia too. She would show me how to do the wrap, and she said she would say, Andrea, it's not that difficult. I just could not. So it's just twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting. Okay.
Yeah, to make sure it stays stable on your head.
Okay.
Then it's just a series of tucks at the end.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So awesome.
Tuck.
Well, I have my head wrap, so I'm gonna listen, y'all. When I show up on WURD with my head wrap on, don't say nothing to me. Put my head wrap on with pride. Took this necklace off.
Mother, I could go ahead and just teach you a couple more styles. So.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right. I'd appreciate that. So, what made you reach out? Because I did not know you existed.
Oh, I mean, I told you before, I've been a fan of your work. I follow you as an on-air personality. We're friends on Facebook for
Didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I've been a fan. I just really appreciate just how you advocate and really love on our people, and just do it with intention. Yeah. Because you have some folks out here that they do things to kind of bolster themselves up, but you put other people first.
Yeah.
And, it's just, like I said, it's just a work of art. And everybody can't do that. So I finally just got up the nerve to say something to you one day, because I saw that, you were posting on Instagram just about your workout, recent workout that you put on. I said, let me just go ahead and just shoot my shot. And then I slid in your DM, and then the rest is history.
And what has that meant for you on Saturday in terms of, because people are still, Sunday they were like, can I have the name of that store again? I said, how many times did I put the name of the store on my Facebook page? Can y'all go look it up, please? That and the card and the card. What has that meant for you on Saturday to see that kind of love and support?
Like my heart is just bursting.
Yeah.
For folks that have found us for the first time, as well as a number of people who are already familiar with us. Just kind of reaffirming, just the work that we do. Yeah, like I said, I'm still recovering. I'm still on a high. So.
Yeah, it is not easy to start a business and to sustain it. You started in 2019, and then bam, COVID hit, right?
Yes.
How were you able to sustain it through the months and months of COVID?
Pivot is kind of like a buzzword now that's being used, but as an entrepreneur, you're always thinking of ways to do things different, right? And then a girlfriend of mine, she was just talking about the mask, the mask surge, the need for making masks, and how our aesthetic was just really different from everyone else.
Yes.
At the time, people were scrambling to get masks, but I feel like in that moment, making masks and wearing them, especially if it was African centered or anything like that, it was a reflection of what you stood for, what you were about, right? So here we are, making all types of masks. At the beginning of the pandemic, we had almost 30 different patterns to choose from.
What?
We were getting swamped. Yeah, right. We were getting swamped.
Where were you in my life when you had 30 different patterns to choose from?
And we still have a bunch of, like I said, I have to show you my textile collection.
Because, and all of your fabric comes from West Ghana, correct?
It comes from all over Africa. So, you have various patterns that come from various regions of the country. Such as Kuba cloth and
say that again. The what kind of cloth?
Kuba cloth.
Never heard of Kuba cloth.
Yeah, so I may have to come back on and kind of have a discussion about different textiles and the regions that they come from. I've been learning a lot about that over the course of several years.
Yes.
Kuba cloth, mud cloth, Holland wax fabric, and how they all tell a story. So, the patterns aren't just there just for the sake of, but they tell a story. Yeah. That's all that is documented. So.
Wow. And so let me ask you this. You sell the fabric in your store, right? You sell different fabrics?
Sell the fabric. We we can make custom custom items, but
right.
the things that I produce are the masks, the head wraps. I have hair bonnets, silk lined or satin lined bonnets. And then whatever collections I can, put out, like the dusters you saw on Saturday.
Right. All right. So people want to know what is the phone number?
Okay. 215-660-3175 is our
You were right, Michael. 3175. Michael must have looked you up. Very good, Michael. You can put that on the Michael is so good. He gave them the address. I tell you, I have the best producers ever. All right. Yes, I do, and I love them up. I love them up because they understand that I am a type A personality, and I want things done a certain way, and I work hard, and they work hard right beside me. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Just kind of throw that into the box for folks, please. So you pivoted. You pivoted to make sure that you could stay in business. You don't sell the fabric. You sell the pieces that are made from the fabric.
Yes.
What if someone wanted to buy fabric?
We would probably have to make a special arrangement for the fabric from buyers.
Okay. So you had some fabric there that was just really, really good that I'd never seen anywhere before. And so yes. And the piece that you wrapped my head with on Saturday, just beautiful. So one lady inboxed me and she wrote on Facebook, she says, Mother, we're going to walk around looking like twins because I want that fabric. I want that fabric too.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so I asked you about the fabric because I like having my own stuff made, and I need about 7 yards of stuff. So I'll call you around, getting 7 yards of. I have to see what the fabric looks like because I have an eye for it, right? So I know exactly what I want, and once I find it, who made the piece that the Wakandan piece that I ended up walking out the store with that I'm going to wear in 3 weeks?
It was another designer that was based out of Ghana. Yeah.
You better.
So I go back and forth to Africa. Like even before the pandemic hit, I would go to Africa at least maybe once a year to work with designers to find out what the newest trends are, and really bring them back here because I like unique stuff. I like hard to find.
Yes,
my thing. And those conversational pieces.
So how many pieces did you buy from her of the piece that I got?
We had 4 of them, and now they're all gone. So because of you,
I'm gonna need you to call the designer and let the designer know it's about to be on and crack-a-lacking in about 3 weeks. Oh yes, crack-a-lacking, and they're going to see themselves in a place where they're going to see it in a place where they're going to be like, "Did I just make?" Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But that's what I'm talking about: collective, cooperative economics, working with each other. Literally, Tiffany was going to let me wear the piece and then talk about where the piece came from. When I walked into the store, I bought the piece. I was like, we gotta buy this piece. I cannot leave this piece. This piece is not coming back to your store. This is going to, it's going home with Mother, and it's going to stay with Mother. But she was willing.
The piece was a cross between, what was it, a G and Jesus? What did you say?
A cross between a Wakanda and Princess and Jesus. Yes, the piece is bad, y'all. If you have not seen the live on my Facebook page, then you will not understand what I'm talking about and how I am going to, like you, I like unique things. So that's just one piece in a whole outfit that I designed, right? To make sure that when I step out there, it'll be fabulous. And so that's what we're talking about. We're so creative. We're such a people who have, oh my gosh. How often do you go back to Africa?
Last time I went was in 2019 because I wanted to, when it was 2018, because I wanted to focus all of 2019 on opening the business and just make sure that we were sustaining and really build up our reputation.
Yes.
The intent was to go back in 2020, but that didn't happen. So.
Well, guess what? You're ready now. You're about to be another Yardane, so get yourself ready. Somebody just asked if they can order from out of state. Can they?
Yes, we have a website. I don't know if my man Michael can put the website.
Yes, Michael, can you put the website up for them, please? Yeah, they're talking about this. This is wonderful. They're loving this. And this is why this is what I mean when I say, when we have the microphone as hosts on these shows. We have to be incredibly responsible, right? And if we're talking about making sure that our Black and brown people, that if we're 365 days Black and we have people with small businesses and the small businesses are going out of business because of COVID, any way we can to support that business and give back is the way we're supposed to do it, right? So when I walked into your store, the energy that flowed out of it, so see, I'm someone who goes by the energy that I get from people. The energy that flowed out of it, my husband called me and was like, you coming home? I was like, yes, sir, I'm on my way home. I was, because I told him I'd be home by 2. I was still in your store at 3 o'clock. So he thought something had happened to me. It was. And thank you to the people who popped in to make sure that it all went down and they supported her and loved on her. And I'm telling you all, it's wonderful, kind stuff. I have been in many stores. The butters and the cleansing. Where do the cleansing creams come from?
It's a brand called Zaresh, and they're based out of South Carolina. It's only 2 stores in Philadelphia that carry it. And it's just amazing.
Yes.
Not
so
just
everything,
but the function. Yeah.
Yes. So everything in the store, I mean, right down to the benches that you sit on, child, is African centered. There is nothing in there that does not say Africa. And if you are all about unique pieces and looking different, now if you're timid, they're pieces for people who want a little something. But for people like me who are bolder than life, I was having a whole moment. It was something in there, I'm telling you. So tell them about your hours now. When are you open? What days of the week? Because I know you also have a full-time job.
Yes, we have limited hours. We're open on Thursday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And Saturday from 12 to 4. But keep this, to engage with our base and to try to be more accommodating on people that want that experience. We've also opened up for private shops. So, all you have to do is just contact us. Let's set aside an hour time block during the time that we are not open. And, you could just have a private shop in the entire store.
So if I hear you correctly, on the days that you're not open, Monday through Thursday, someone can pick up the phone and call you and say they'd like to come and be a private shopper. You would open the store for an hour for them to come in and choose and look at the merchandise and pick what they want. 215-660. Y'all talk about Macy's and Nordstrom and them. We got Black folks doing the darn thing in the heart of West Philadelphia. 215-660-3175. Tiffany, you exemplify what is possible. At some point, are you going to walk away from your full-time job, or is this just going to be an addition to what you're doing now?
I'm gonna just continue to let God order my steps. I love what I do during the day, but sometimes
I hear you're very good at what you do during the day too. Yes. I got a couple of phone calls about you this weekend who said you were really good at what you do during the day. I'm not naming it. Yes, they did. They said you were very good, that you cared about the people.
I love my babies.
Yes, you do. That's probably why my soul connected with yours, because I love the children too. I love the young people too. And they said you go above and beyond to make sure that the young people are okay. And I say, yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And because you're so good and kind to the young people that you're serving in your full-time job, this thing right here is about to take off. So I'm going to tell you, hire yourself a couple of folk, call the people in West Africa and say, Mother done put me on the live television, and we're about to do some good thing. So my sister, today I'm honoring you for Women's History Month. For Women's History Month, I want to say thank you, not just for what you do every day with young people, but for even using your store as a haven for people who are being bullied, who may need a charge on their phone. You are truly a community activist that cares about what happens there, and that you're not just talking the talk, you're actually walking the walk. So I fully appreciate you. Anything else you'd like to say to the folks before we say goodbye?
No, just a shout out to all the Black businesses that, is just out there doing the work. They're representing, they're trailblazing and just doing, what's necessary to go ahead and just make sure that our people are represented. I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
And, I just appreciate just everything that you do, Andre, on a daily basis, whether it be intentional or non-intentional. You're so good. You do well by people, and you don't even know what you're doing. That's how good you are. So thank you.
You're welcome. I love my people. Mike says he needs the People's Free Food Program hoodie when they're back in stock. Michael, are you telling me you knew about this place and didn't tell me? I'm about to hurt you. He's typing. So do you? No, he said no. He just probably saw it on the website. The People's Free Food Program hoodie. Are you getting any more back in stock?
I'm not sure. We definitely have another iteration of that hoodie, a revolutionary hoodie with the Nat Turner.
Okay.
So yeah, just stop by and we'll do our best to accommodate.
What size are you, Mike? What size are you? I'm asking Mike now. 2X. How much are the hoodies?
The hoodies, and I think I have a 2X for him.
Okay.
They're $45.
Okay, put it aside. I'm gonna buy it for him. Mike has been so awesome. Mike, you just got a hoodie off of Mother. I'm gonna buy his hoodie. Thank you so much, my sister. Listen, I love my people. When I say I love my people, I love my people. I'm not just talking about it. I'm being about it. It's a revolutionary thing for me. I was born this way. I'm gonna die this way, right? And so I just want to thank you for being there in the gap for folks, for standing up for us. And I firmly believe that as you continue to let this business grow, you will continue to give back to people. Yes. Let us know again where folks can find you, what your hours are, and you and I and Leah and Sarita, we're going to talk about the healing and head wraps conversation, because we're going to make that thing fly. We are.
Awesome. All right. So you can find us at 5912 Haverford Avenue. Our hours are Thursday and Friday from 4 to 7, Saturday from 12 to 4. Online, we're open 24/7. Art and A&D soul.mybigcommerce.com. I know that's a mouthful for my Instagram heads. You can find us at Art and Soul PHL.
Art and Soul PHL. Art and Soul. Congratulations, my sister. I'm so super duper proud of you. The people are coming. The people are coming. They've been texting my phone. The people are coming. So have a good one, and happy Women's History Month, okay?
Same to you, my sister.
All right, my sister. Bye-bye. You are listening to The Source, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at onWURD. 215-634-8065 is the number to call in. We will be right back after these messages.
The COVID-19 crisis has made it difficult for many students to get online. Over the last 10 years, Comcast has been dedicated to advancing digital equity and closing the digital divide. Now, they are working with their network of nonprofit partners and city leaders to create more than 1,000 Wi-Fi connected lift zones in community centers nationwide. Because students and their families need safe spaces to get online and access the resources they need to succeed in a digital world. Learn more at comcast.com/education.
James Schuler Memorial Boxing Gym presents Around the Way Rumbling, an amateur boxing event Saturday, March 6th. The first bout is at 2 p.m. at James Schuler Memorial Gym, located at 750 North Brooklyn Street, off of 42nd and Lancaster Avenue. Boxing saves lives, and this is the perfect time to join the gym. Monthly memberships and boxing lessons are available for ages 7 through 70. For sponsorship information, call Crystal at 717-421-0512.
You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source. I want to thank you all for joining me today and being, calling in and telling me about the women that you love at the local and national levels, and the women in your family. Just to kick off Women's History Month, we have so many great women coming on. I can't even tell you. You wouldn't believe me if I told you anyway. So we're just going to leave it alone and wait until they come on. Philadelphia schools set to begin hybrid learning on March 8th after successful negotiations between teachers and the district. I'm not even reading that because I'm sure we'll learn more about that tomorrow. Let me see. I think George from Winfield, line 1. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good day. How are you today?
I am good, sir. How can I help you?
Well, part of this phone call is inspired by the woman that I love who's no longer here with me, my mother.
Yes.
She could have stayed to take the job at the school board to become a school police officer.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that my mother was engaging me in a conversation about becoming a police officer. But my mother won in the long run. In a month and a half, my mother convinced me to become a school police officer.
Wow.
And I was hired to be a school police officer in school, the school that's no longer at Broad and Master.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wonderful structure. It was no school like it in Philadelphia. And the only reason why it's not there anymore is because of the temple.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
I found out when I was working at William Penn, I was moved out of the school because the children appreciated the fact that I was looking after them.
Mm-hmm.
One day, a group of young ladies approached me, and they said, "You must not like your job."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "You guys got it wrong. I love my job."
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Well, if you like your job, you wouldn't be helping us, because you're helping us. It's going to cause you to lose your job."
Right. Right.
The children are very sensitive, and they're not accustomed to being shown love.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're shown love, they respond in ways that you couldn't imagine.
Yes.
Well, the principal was insecure. So she told the school board that I was unusual.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "This guy is not like normal school police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he even comes into the classroom and assists the teacher in presenting lessons."
Mm-hmm.
So I was called to a meeting, and I was asked how could I do things like that, because based on my job application,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't include college.
Right.
I told them that I wasn't a graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So they put me under investigation to find out if I had lied on my application.
Wow.
And they found out that I was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The principal demanded that I was moved out of her building after she went to the greenhouse. The school had a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the greenhouse one day with some visitors,
Mm-hmm.
and she couldn't wait to get to the science department head with her visitors to lavish praise on him for what they had seen in the greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped her and told her that she was talking to the wrong individual. He said, "You have to find that new school police officer that you have.
Right.
He's showing me how to use the greenhouse, and he's responsible for that."
Wow.
Well, that led to me being removed out of the building.
Wow.
And this is the crux of the matter why I'm calling you.
Mm-hmm.
I found out while I was working for the school board that Mumia Abu Jamal, a childhood friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
was not responsible for killing Officer Faulkner, who happened to be a good cop.
Mm-hmm.
He was working in the Center City District,
Mm-hmm.
and it was explained to me by a retired Philadelphia city cop that was working for the school board.
Mm-hmm.
He explained to me that the first responsibility of a district, of a police district, is to locate where all the crime is being committed in a district.
Mm-hmm.
He said then the next order of business is for the police to decide what business is going to be allowed to take place and what business is going to be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
He said the business that is allowed to continue is police business, and police benefit from that. He said that there's more crime taking place in Center City District than in any place in Philadelphia. And he said you can notice it if you walk on 13th Street from Market. At that time, he said Arch Street. If you walk from Arch straight down 13th Street to South Philadelphia, he said there's more crime taking place along that strip than any place in Philadelphia, but the police department benefits from that. He said Officer Faulkner was noticing the crime on 13th Street, and he began to address it.
Mm-hmm.
And calls started going back to the police station that one of your guys is bothering us. The response was, he's not one of our guys, and that's going to be handled. He said to me, he said, your friend was on the radio giving great news about what was taking place in the city, in particular, what was taking place with the MOVE organization. He said the MOVE organization was the scourge of Philadelphia at the time. He said the mayor was a black man. He said they were raining on his parade. He had no problem giving the go-ahead for what took place with the murder and the burning of the neighborhood. He said, your friend just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. He said, Officer Faulkner was handled by the police department. He said, that's what the police department do to people that don't toe the line. He said, and you have been guilty of that because when you were at William Penn, you were not about locking up the children. He said, you were running afoul of the guys that you were working with. Because what we have in the Philadelphia school system is a system where you retire from the police department and you look around somewhere for another 10-year pension. And the school district offers that 10-year pension for retired street cops. They have nothing on their mind about helping children. It's about introducing them to the criminal justice system because they didn't get caught in their neighborhood. So you catch them at school. The children get set up. They get set up by grown men who have things that they can do to get the interest of children, like hobbies, to get them to think another way. But the easiest thing for them to do is to lock them up. And Mumia absolutely had nothing to do with Officer Faulkner's death. And Officer Faulkner was one of those good cops. One thing I found out is that if you are a good cop, meaning that
you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Mr. George.
Yeah, I'm in a location where I have bad reception and bad distribution.
Okay, all right. And I have 2 minutes before I have to get off the air for the entire day. So give me what you can, and then tomorrow you can call me back and share the rest, because this is riveting. You're giving me more history than I've ever had about this case.
Mumia right now is not doing well. I believe he's suffering from complications of the virus. Mumia needs one of these police officers. It was explained to me that from the black clergy know that your friend didn't have anything to do with Officer Faulkner dying. There's plenty of lawyers walking around in Philadelphia that know that your friend had nothing to do with Officer Faulkner being murdered. One of them needs to write a letter before they die. One of them needs to step up to let an innocent man who absolutely did nothing other than give the news. He did it to us every time he came on the air. He did it accurately. He told us the truth. And I'm listening to former Panther members come on the air, and they're not saying anything about our brother.
Mr. George, I have to literally, Mr. George, can you call me back? I'm so sorry to break you off, but I literally have to get off the air now. Can you call me back tomorrow, please?
Yes, thank you so much, Andrea.
You're quite welcome, my brother. You're quite welcome. Thank you so much. What a way to end the show. That was riveting. Me too, Lucy. Me too. Me too. That was riveting. Coming up next is Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. I just want to thank you all. You all make this. I try different things to see what you all would love as we put up a show each and every day. And I'm seeing what is it that you all want from your community to get what you need to have to make things work. My husband says he has called 311 47 times and has not gotten through yet about the vaccination clinic, the FEMA vaccination clinic. So that is clearly not a number that anybody should call if they're trying to figure out what's going on down at the convention center. So figure out another way to get to them, please. I'm going to have the people from FEMA on every week. This is why I'm going to have the people on FEMA on every week until we figure out what's going on and that something is running smoothly on behalf of the people of this city, because I think they come into federally fund. I don't think they realize some of the things that are going on here, and we have to work through that. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.